AJK. AJK. What's good? What's good? What's good, brothers? What's happening? All right, what's happening? Making sure our audio is coming in clean. Y'all should be able to hear me. I'm checking the playback. Y'all should be able to hear me. What is good? What is up? What is up, Passport Brothers? Welcome to Chris Strong Art Talks. Glad you brothers are here today. We are gathered here on the most joyous occasions. The joyous occasions, gentlemen. We have won. We have won. We are winning. The movement is stronger than ever. Passport Bros cannot be stopped at this point, man. I mean, real talk. Like at this point, we we letting our voices be known, dog. And this is what this whole thing is all about. This is what this whole culture is all about. This is why brothers exercising their options, talking about their stories, letting them know that we not gonna be stopped. That's what this is all about. So today, yeah, I will be getting into the Yahoo News article. We're gonna be getting into that. We're gonna be breaking that down. I got that over here on standby. We're gonna be getting that. I'm also gonna be dropping the link, letting you brothers chime in and speak on it. As we, getting more into the topic and as we go along, I'll be dropping the link pretty early. Not really gonna hold y'all too long like that. We're just gonna let it flow. We're just gonna kind of let the show move. We're gonna let it rock, and we're gonna let it do what it do, baby. You know what I'm saying? Passport Bros, we come a long way. You know what I mean? Just to speak on it and what the whole Passport Bro movement means to me is, for me, Charles Tyler was one of the OGs in this. Like I said, from my personal, coming from where I'm coming from, me personally, um, when I was going through my situation, back at home, this when I was back in Texas, you know what I'm saying? Before I really started traveling like that, I was going through my situation, you know, and I didn't even really know much about traveling as far as, black men having this whole mind state to say we're not putting up with what's going on in the States. We're gonna get out here, we're gonna travel. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna make it do what it do, we're gonna make it move, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, one of my first inspirations to really make it happen was, what I'm saying, the brother Charles Tyler. And then I kind of started getting interested in Brazil. You know, I had never really had a real strong interest in Brazil like that. I didn't know much about it from that standpoint, but I was watching his videos, and I was watching the brothers collab and talk about their experiences. I'm watching the Frustrated series from Al Grease. I'm watching all these different things, and I'm seeing that a lot of the stuff that these brothers was talking about were a lot of the things that I thought I was crazy. I just kind of thought I was having a situation. I just thought I was the one who was, you know, um, kind of going through this thing on my own, kind of sort of, because as men, one of the things we tend to do is we tend to internalize, our issues, especially when it comes to relationships. We tend to internalize, and we tend to make it seem like, oh, it's all our fault for what happened in our situation. Okay, not realizing, and now we get into this point to where we have the advent of the manosphere, we have the advent of the red pill, and the phrase calling it, the matrix, and all these things, and all the progress that we have made as brothers has gotten us to the point to understand that we're not crazy. You know what I'm saying? We're not crazy, right? We have been experiencing these things, and now we can compare notes, and we see that, you know gentlemen, we have a culture problem. Okay, and now that culture problem is starting to go beyond just the so-called black community, and it's starting to hit mainstream. And because of this, different corners of men are waking up. Now, when I was on Pablo's channel, I want to say it was maybe not but a few days ago, I want to say, we had the conversation about, you know, how far we have come, and and what this all really means, and how serious it's getting, because it's getting to the point now to where this is running in the mainstream circles. Okay, it's getting to the point now to where, you know, white men and men who have been kind of moving around, you know, traveling, doing their thing. Now it's getting to a point to where when brothers start doing it, we make it cool, we put a name on it, and now everybody wants to hop on it like it's a trend type situation. But this is a result of the larger issues that we have here in the country, you know, and a lot of different, you know, men have their different ways of kind of wanting to deal with it, how they understand it. But now we as black men are saying, hey, this is how we moving. You know what I mean? We moving just like this. We're not gonna allow them to try to tell us, you know, sit down, shut up, and you brothers don't get to have opinion, because so many of these conversations come down to, you know, us as black men not being allowed to have a voice, not being allowed to have options, you know, not being allowed to have standards. You know, so much of that is what this comes down to. And it's very annoying. You know what I'm saying? It's very annoying. But now that we're starting to, you know, ring the bell, and now that other corners of just the culture of men are really starting to wake up, and they're starting to hear what's going on, and they're realizing, they're comparing notes, and they're realizing, hey, wait a minute, gentlemen, we have an issue. All right, we have a bigger issue at hand. You know what I'm saying? We have a bigger issue at hand. Something's going on here. And like I mentioned earlier, like I mentioned before on other channels, how now they going after Tate. And when we had to talk on Pablo's channel, you know, the biggest thing about it was understanding that it's not about them trying to take shots and take down um the individual content creator. They want to stop an idea that they do not control, because to them it's chaotic and they don't understand how they can get in front of it. See, the government is okay with it as long as they can get in front of something, slow it down, have control over it. But this is such a grassroots movement, and we just came out the woodwork, and they didn't expect, especially black men, to start to have direct issue with black women and call them out directly on their bullshit. This is something that's new. All right. This is new. And they look at it like, yo, we don't know how to handle this. Black men are off the chain here. What can we do? And that's the thing. Okay. That's what makes this so beautiful. That's what makes this so strong. Right. That's what makes our voices so relevant. And when we have situations like this, where we have our name getting put out in Yahoo news articles and stuff like this, when we have these situations, we need to take note, right? We need to take note. We need to celebrate these moments, all right? Because we also need to make sure that we're recognizing it, so we can make sure that we're directing the traffic properly, or whatever they try to say about brothers who travel, however they try to change the narrative, because you know that's what they're going to do. However they try to move and do the stuff like that, we're already playing chess with them. We're already thinking like 5 spaces ahead. Like, hey, we've seen what y'all do with every other movement. Okay. Black men have never been able to have a movement that just goes untouched without, you know, the higher levels of government, or all these different people try to get in front of it and try to change it into something else. Like, let's not act like that we weren't all fooled by BLM. When Black Lives Matter first came out, we were just like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like, you know what? Black lives do matter. Stop shooting our brothers in the streets. Stop killing our brothers. Until we got deeper behind what they were doing and how they were trying to push it and market it. And it became like this, you know, these black women, you know, lesbians was running the whole thing, and then it started to take a turn into something that was completely different. And we were just like, fam, whoa, what the hell is this? This is not what we signed up for, because we thought this was a different movement. And you see how things like that got turned into something else. Even the term itself, woke, like woke is a word that we used to use to describe, hey, you know, like you know, stay woke, bro. You know, stay up. You know, keep your mind open, keep your third eye open, all that stuff. We used to say that type of stuff. That used to be the type of positive talk that brothers used to have until they co-opted it. And now you can't even say woke, right? They completely took the movement and shifted that into something completely something else. So that's not even what it used to mean, right? That term used to be a positive term. Hey, fam, stay up, stay woke. They took that. You know what I mean? You can't even talk positive about your African, if you want to call it African spirituality connections and stuff like this. You can't even talk positive about that. Why? Because I call you a hotep and all these other things. But that's because it's associated with worshiping black women and not holding black women accountable, which is why it's hard to use certain terms and certain phrases that we used to use because it's been co-opted. And I think that right here, right now, in real time, we're getting all the way out in front of this and we see what's coming. We say, okay, you want to put Passport Brothers' names on the Yahoo News, this and that. This is the start. Guess what? We're already stepping with y'all right there with you. We ain't gonna let you try to phrase us, try to call us out our name, try to say who and what we are, what we not. All of that we're ready for. You know, just when I was on my last podcast, with Pablo, I said, I was like, hey, the biggest thing for us is we need to have our blades sharp, our spears sharp, ready to rock, because the higher establishment, they see us now. All right. They see Passport Bros now. They recognize now. They saw us first, but now they see that we're getting so big that they had to now outward and openly recognize who the Passport Brothers are and say, yo, this is a movement. And we see it. So now the media is taking note. And we're not going to let them co-opt the movement like that. We're not going to let them shift the movement. We're not going to let them say who we are. We're not going to let them badmouth our names. We're not going to allow them to disrespect what it means for these brothers and for these men who travel. Okay? Now we know it's not just a black thing, but we made it dope. We made it popular. Okay? We made this shit jump over here. Right? I don't have any, issues with other races of men who travel. Okay, yeah, y'all do y'all thing as well. We understand, white bitches crazy too. We got it. But on our side of the house, we are coming from a specific point of view that we were dealing with. And this is our solution. If y'all want to carry the flag as well, that's cool. Just understand that, there is an argument that says for white guys, y'all have kind of always had opportunities. And it goes hand in that argument can go either way, which was an argument between a little bit of a back and forth between Pablo and I think it was a Big Truck. They was talking about it, and just to speak on that, it's just like, well, yeah, historically white guys have had, certain opportunities, that we could say black men did not have. And it's just funny how everything that we touch, when we touch it, we turn that shit to gold, man. Just saying, because white guys, they were just kind of milling around like, hey, this and that. And like even some people's issues that they have with the Republican Party, how they have, people who do have issue with the Republican Party, guys who are more center, their issue is that the Republican side of the house don't do anything. They just let the left run around unchecked. The left just runs around, does whatever the hell it wants to do. And then you want to depend on the right, but they don't do a damn thing because they're too afraid to let their nuts hang. So yeah, like I said, man, shout out to you guys, man. Shout out to y'all who are coming in, tapping in, checking in. You know what I'm saying? What's up, good brother? What's happening? You know what I'm saying? What's good? What's good? All right, the brother Tim Howard in the building. Happy New Year 2023. We here. That brother Cortez, what's up, y'all? He said he's tuning in from work. All right, cool. Hit the like button. Yes, sir. Yeah, y'all hit that like button, hit that notification bell. All right. Stay tuned in to your boy. Get the likes up. You know what I'm saying? Spread the word, share the video, spread the message. Passport Bros, we up. Okay. All right, yo. We definitely up right now, man. Let's see. We got boa noite, Gary 7. Boa noite. Got Happy New Year's, everyone. Big facts. Feliz años. Yep. Traveling up worldwide. Big homie Jamel. He says, salute to the progenitors of the modern travel movement. Al Grease, Charles Tyler. Exactly. Salute to the giants that came before us. You know what I'm saying? We stand on the shoulders of giants, brothers. You know, we don't forget where we come from around here. We definitely, give big shout outs to those brothers, especially the brother Al Grease. You know what I'm saying? Allow me to be in his movie, Frustrated 3. It's still out there. Y'all go check that out. Run it up. Go over there, run it up. Pick up Frustrated 3, man. The movement is hot. The movement is hot, bro. They cannot control freedom. Facts. And that's one of the biggest things that I talk about on my channel. My channel is about freedom. Y'all see it in my intro. Okay. And travel is freedom. That's what this is about. Travel is freedom. All right. A lot of men didn't know that they had the opportunities and the options to move like this. Okay. Until other brothers started waking them up and letting them know, family, you don't have to deal with that woman and her hostility. I get phone calls all the time, from my brothers and my family, asking me questions about, man, big bro, like, hey, goddamn, like, bro, what's going on with her, bro? What's going on with her? How come she don't respect you? And that's one of the biggest things that we have lost within the traditional idea of family, is that there's no respect. These women feel as though they don't have to respect you. They feel as though that they're their own boss, bitches and queens and all this other stuff, and they can go unchecked and unmoved. And the biggest issue that as men like us, free thinking men, red pill men, the biggest thing that we have to deal with is the simps and white knights that defend these females. That's really the biggest problem, because we could change this shit all overnight if the Derek Jackson type niggas would get out the way. But we got the guardians at the gate with names like Derek Jackson and Steve Harvey, who tell these women all they want to hear. And then for those you religious types, the black church at one point was a beacon of the glue, or the thing that held most people together in the community. And now, as time has went on, we have seen that just turned that the modern church just turned into a shit show, right? So men are looking at it like, where can we go? What's going on? Exactly. These platforms, this space is the new church. This is the new church, because the men are here. The men are discussing their problems, their issues, and things that they're having. They're discussing that here. It's all here. Okay? Can't rely on the modern church anymore. The pastors and preachers are sold out to worshiping women. Right? You got an issue going on in your home, and your pastor is the main one, getting you messed up. And now you looking at divorce and child support and all this other stuff. The pastor cannot rise the spirit of rebellion out of these modern women. Let me tell y'all something. All right. Right. These pastors, they ain't no gods. Right. Stop all that. Stop. Okay. These women don't even respect the church. You know why? If you look at what happened, as soon as a preacher changes the narrative, the women will complain. The preacher's job is to give God's word, right? But then again, as soon as he may change the narrative or say something else that the women don't like, it's a problem. Let you know who's really in charge. All right, we're gonna keep rocking. We're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna keep it moving. My man Cortez again checking in. He said years ago, guys already predicted that if it went mainstream, they would try to slander it, just like they did MGTOW. Bro, facts, man, facts. And we're aware. We are aware. We got the feet on their neck. We like, yo, we watching y'all. What y'all gonna say about us? How we move? We paying very close attention. Now woke means they're a joke. Facts, facts, man. He said, yeah, the feminists messed up the term. They did. They really did. It was Pablo and Perfect Blackness going back and forth. Yeah, they were going back and forth about that discussion. And I was just speaking to it like, man, as it pertains to other races of guys, as we move around, passport bros, and as we move around, we don't have an issue with white dudes. Like we're not the pro black sector over here. We're the more so the pro men sector, the pro freedom sector. Now I do want to see brothers first and foremost, get to their highest potential, the highest earning, their highest levels of everything. Of course, I want to see that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not in the business of, trying to be all worried and concerned about what white guys going on, because they got their own issues. They're doing their thing. So yeah, that was a big debate between those two. Alphabet and feminist communities are starting to war against each other now. Yes, they are. Yo, it is a battle out here in these streets, bro. We are, yo, this is, yeah, it's definitely on some war ish. That's why I said, man, we need to be moving on our war ish right now, as far as how we move and on our mindsets and how we're moving with the, how we carry ourselves. And I'm gonna get to the article in a minute. I'm gonna get there. Don't worry. But even, brother Dennis Sperling, I said it before, I said it again. He had just talked about the type of things that they're going to try to use against us. Okay, the type of things that are on the books that they can try to use against us. Now, the thing is, it doesn't have to be something that's going to lock you away beyond a shadow of a doubt for years at a time. It ain't got to be that. Something that is going to deter or tarnish the idea of black men traveling is what they're after. If they can lock you, if they can detain you for a day, couple days, and put it on the news and make it go mainstream, and it's about some international stuff and it's a black man's face on it, they are ready. They are chomping at the bit to use that type of information against brothers who are in this type of movement. That's what the bigger plan. It's not, they don't care about you. You're just a peon. Okay? You're just a peon. They're ready to run you over. But they will use your face. They will use you as a black man to deter other black men. See, that's what it's about. The hearts and minds of the youth and the other black men who would be the simps that these no good women would try to use. That's what that's about. And they are in full force. That's why I said y'all need to be on y'all war-ish. Okay? Y'all need to be on y'all war-ish. As far as the mindset on how you moving with dealing with the system at hand, because they are looking to try to slow this down the best way they can, because they're already thinking so many years ahead. Like, what does this mean for the long run? What does it mean? What can this mean? How bad can this get? And I said it before on Pablo's channel once again. If black men are not dealing with X, Y, and Z, if black men are not going for it, then for damn sure other races are not going to be going for it. All right. So let me see here. We got Arco said they will interview a leader in the passport community. I wonder who it is. Yeah, I'm curious as well. We're gonna get into it. True, we make it cool. Black Man Magic has a better ring to it than the other. Yeah, it does. Facts. He said, Tim, I love seeing enemies battle. Maybe they can leave us alone for a bit. Yeah, hopefully. Jamil, I don't know right now. They might choose a fake passport, bro, interview a real one, but edit the slander. Yeah, they might get on some fugazi stuff, man. So we got to be very careful. We got to be very careful about what they say. We got to make sure that we are staying on point with how we move. And I think a lot of people who are in different, see, this is what the pro blacks and actually, what Tariq Nasheed would say stuff like, yo, we need to stay on code. I do agree that as black men, because I've never seen it as we're going to move, all black folks are going to move and have the same mentality and the same type of thought process on how we get down and how we move. I've never thought it was going to be brothers who move with a group of like minds need to stay on accord and understand our tenets and how we move. And we're not going to let certain individuals or entities try to break us down, make us sound crazy for what we're saying, because when you stand on it, you defend it, they can't do nothing with you. Just like in the beginning, Kevin Samuels was getting all that heat, but he was able to stand on what he was saying with stats, statistics, data, facts, all of that, and they couldn't break Kev. They couldn't break Kev, right? Because Kev stood on what he was saying, and he threw the numbers on your ass to back up what he was saying. And he turned his enemies into followers. He turned, and 90% of women, we already know, at first they don't like Kev, but by the end of the day, what do they say? They go back and they wind up thanking him. They say thank you for what you do. You save my marriage. That's the power of standing on your square, gentlemen. Okay, that's the power of standing on what you believe in and not allowing the mainstream to break it down, because we know they're always going to try to have their dirty little fingers in it, and they're going to try to manipulate it. You know what I'm saying? I think he's not totally hip to what Passport Bro is. That's why it was, yeah. It seems like there was a little bit of confusion going on there. You know what I'm saying? But we good over here. We good. No big deal. No big deal. You know what I'm saying? It says agree with that statement. Facts. Shout out to you, Professor Cortez. Yeah, he's in the building. It's GG. Good point on the Pablo stream. Having other races actually helps the movement. It does actually. It actually does. Having other races, bring light to what's going on, makes it harder for them to ignore it. All right, it makes it harder for them to ignore it. And I think that as black men, we understand that we can't really trust the politicians, so we start voting with our feet. That's one of the bigger things, is that people would just say, "Oh, why don't you just stay here and fight and vote for change and run it up to your congressman and da da da." When is the last time a congressman has done anything specific for black men? What? No, that's bullshit. Okay, stay here and fight. Don't run over there overseas. Oh no, don't go over there to where it's nice and they treat you well. No, that's crazy. See, always moving the goalposts, and we're tired of it. We're not having it anymore. We're done with this bullshit. All right. He said the thing is they can't shame brothers for traveling. White men and black women been doing this for the longest. Even white women in Europe is going to Africa for the black. Yo, facts. Hey, I'm gonna tell you something right now, man. Yo, I don't know about y'all who may or may not be paying attention to my shorts. But when I'm running up my shorts, I'm showing travel. I'm showing. I like to show the solution versus the conflict type of thing on my channel. I don't like to roll in the mud with the pigs too much. I like to actually show the places. I like to show Cancun. I like to show South Africa instead of all the conflict fighting back and forth with hard-headed black women. I actually like to show the places, and I like people to be like, "Oh wow, that looks nice over there," and motivate brothers to travel instead of the same old debates with black women, because I'm really not in the business of debating and fighting with black women like that. That's not really my point over here on this channel. My channel is about freedom and travel. Okay, bringing notoriety and continuing to spread the message to men who otherwise don't know, or they want to see a consistent or a different angle. You know what I mean? That's why when I run the shorts, I'm showing the places, and y'all, the numbers are good. The numbers look good. Okay, all right, the numbers look good. More so, I've had more than one of those lady content creators that I'll be boosting message me back, and I'm just a baby channel. I'm just a baby channel, and you got the ladies, right? Because the females, the like the Filipina, stuff and this like this. When you post up their short, and it's just like they see it, and I get messages back. You know what I'm saying? And it's real. It's like, whoa, like, damn, they really see this passport ish. They really see it. You know what I mean? That's why I like to show that. But my point to that is what I'm saying is, when you start running these TikToks, men, do your homework. When you start running these TikToks, okay, for those of you who are on TikTok, type in luxury travel. Yeah, type in luxury travel, any place, and see how many of those are women. Not only that, black women. Bro, I'm trying to tell you, when brothers like Edward Anderson say that, yo, sisters have been traveling, dog, so that's why it's projecting. On Ed's stream last night, he was talking about the one chick who went over there to the DR for the first time and got pregnant by some pookie dude. Right? She got pregnant by some regular dude in the DR just because he was light skinned with light eyes. Right? But no, brother, in order for you to get that same level of submission over here in the States, right, you need to be 6 figures, 6 foot dick, you know what I'm saying? 10 feet tall, you know what I'm saying? You got to be all these different metrics. But basic level instinct submission kicks in when these women, black women, travel. Oh, he's fine. I'll do whatever. But what happened when they come to the state or when they're in the States? What are the standards and what are the metrics for you though, black man? See? And that is how we know it's not about money. It's not about money. It's really not. Right? It's really not. And this is why we'll also get into a little bit of the Pookie Ray Ray type stuff where, oh, how come the nigga who's all swagged out gets all the female? Because she's attracted to him. But in our community, if you want black women, you have to go be a future damn near. I'll say that again. In our community, if you want to really deal with black women, you basically have to be a future. When I was getting my hair retwisted, I'm sitting in the chair. An old girl who does my hair, she a sister. You know what I'm saying? She look nice. She straight, typical hairstyle, she a nice little thing, hairstylist, you know what I'm saying? She slim, petite, light brown skin, dreads. She nice. And me and her, we talk, we chop it up, we vibe. And she was telling me about how it's a future concert coming out here. I think the Charlotte, I want to say middle of this month, something like that. I don't even know. I ain't really planning on going, but and she was all talking about how she can't wait to see Future and this and that and the third, and I can't wait to see him. And I'm like, damn girl, what you want to sign up to be baby mama number 10 and shit? She just was like, it ain't even about that. But he might need a hairdresser. He might need a hairstylist. And out of all the stuff that they say, out of all the stuff that Future obviously is, out of all the baby mamas and how Future moves and all that, out of all that, still, the nigga with the most swags undefeated. Right? You know what I'm saying? Within the confines of the black community, that is. Right? It don't matter. It don't matter. Like I said, Passport Bros, we are this big in a community in America that is this big. A little bit bigger. Like I said, 14% of the population, however you want to phrase it. And then within black men, how many of us are really talking this type of talk? It's even smaller. That's why I say, brothers, we are making this type of noise with the numbers that we have. Black men, pat yourself on the back. It's real. Because when you look across these TikToks, nigga, black women is traveling, son. Bruh, let me tell you, these little luxury trips and all that stuff, you type in, I swear to God, go to TikTok right now, type in luxury travel, whatever. All women. All women. Facts. I was just looking through there. I'm just like, I'm going to look at some luxury spots, you know what I'm saying? Maybe some different places, whatever, all females, living a best life. You know what I'm saying? And then you had these different things like, I think it's called Travel Noir. I think that was the name of the article or whatever that was posting up a old girl who went to the DR and was doing all that fugazi shit. But they want to call us the simps. And this is how we know that all of that ish they be talking is projection. It's straight, man. It's straight projection. It's straight projection when it's coming from these females, because they'll start harping stuff on us as black men that we never talk about or have talked about doing. We're like, yo, where are you trying to say that we do this type stuff? This is not how we move. Generally, this is not how we would move. But see, that's the thing. They go over there and do that stuff. You know what I'm saying? A young lady will get off the plane in the country and damn near be ready to change her whole religion for the right nigga. Am I right or wrong? She ready to change her whole religion. Right? Right? She just got off the plane and she ready to pray to Mecca. But you such a Christian. Fuck out of here. Yo. But let me kick into the article. I don't want to keep y'all hanging. We're gonna get into the article. It's not a long article from what I can see. We're just gonna get into it. We're just gonna do a little bit. We gonna break it down a little bit. We're gonna go over it. We're gonna talk about the article. You know what I mean? I'll give it my soliloquy long enough, and I will be dropping the link. Y'all hold tight. We can get up here, brothers. We're gonna chop it up. You know what I mean? We're gonna have our little session. We're gonna chop it up. We're gonna talk about it. Um and just give me a minute. We'll go over it, drop the link, and we'll break it down. All right. So we're gonna share the screen. We're gonna run it like this. We're gonna share that. Cool beans, cool beans. So yeah, this is the article, gentlemen. This is it. This is Exhibit A. We have the article. Um, this is from Yahoo News. Look at this. So we're gonna kick off an article. Um, all right. So it says the hashtag Passport Bros have officially divided our internet. A growing group of thousands of black men is preaching to more men on social media platforms that women in other countries are the best source for a traditional woman to settle down with. You're damn right. You're damn right. Yeah. Facts. No lies detected. Just follow the hashtag and you'll see black men of all ages describing their experiences with the opposite sex in other countries compared to the women in the United States. Okay. And then they have what is, let's see, passport movement explained, men with options. They have looks like they got a few hashtags in here. Add, okay. Most of our content on Travel Noir consists of stories of people traveling and living abroad to find inner peace and happiness as a person of color on this earth. Black people have suffered through so many forms of prejudice in the United States that we've sought other countries to feel like human beings. The Passport Bros movement could be seen as an annex to the same inner peace and happiness concept. A group of black men who don't feel needed and admired by black women looking for love overseas. They travel to different destinations worldwide and find happiness with a partner of the opposite sex. Yeah, most definitely. Um, you know, because this is like the anti-travel noir type situation, or not anti. It's more like the opposite of what we would call the travel noir stuff like this, because a lot of that stuff is black women, bro. And I think articles like this, and I think us talking like this, us having a movement like this, is showing them, letting them know that you know it's not just about black women, because so many things in the community, as long as it passes through the hands of black women, it's verified and it's done. And black men are finally starting to say, wait a minute, their opinion is not our opinion. We have our own thing to say as black men. So, when you have these different spots like Travel Noir and stuff like this, um, that's not us. That's a different group. And I think we're starting to see different groups within this community, as we should. We're starting to see different classes develop within this community, as we should, because so many of people, especially with different races, when they look over into the so-called black community, what they see is black women are the source of power because they're the loudest, most arrogant, and most of them the biggest. But as we move through the article, we're going to continue on. Let's see. Black women and other women of color in America have gone to their TikToks and the social media accounts to speak against the Passport Bros movement passionately. Black women in America already have so much on their shoulders. For many, this movement is the straw that broke the. Shut the fuck up. Get that bullshit out of here. What the hell? Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Shut up. Black women have so much on their shoulders for the community. This straw that broke the camel's back. I'm sorry. No, 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 no. I don't want to hear about how much they have on their shoulders. This is what they asked for. They wanted big. That's what those big wide backs are for. That's what they wanted. They wanted to bear the burden of men. So I don't want to hear about what's on their shoulders. Damn all that. No. You wanted to bear the burden of men. You wanted, okay, to deal with the same issues as men. You could think like a man, talk like a man, move like a man, and fuck like a man. So then you will carry the same pressures as a man. If that's what you're going for, if that's what you're looking at, we're not going. And I mean, you could put stuff out in that article like this. You could put stuff out in this article if you want. But as black men, we ain't going. You won't find sympathy over here. You won't be given much grace over here. Time is out for that. It's a wrap. We're not going to, oh, we owe y'all so much grace and black women are good. Because even in this article right here, they have to make it, oh, black women, they bury so much, they carry so much burden. It's so heavy. Lift weights, bitch. I don't know what you want me to tell you. Lift more weights. This is what your ass asked for. So you ain't finna get no sympathy from me. Talk about no damn burden. And y'all carry so much on your shoulders. Get that shit out of here. Most of their rebuttals are that passport bros are weak. Black men that don't know how to court strong black women. Oh my God, here we go. I knew it wasn't gonna take long. So yeah. So now even in the Yahoo News articles, they are regurgitating their talking points. And I know that they're saying they are quoting them. I know. But still, here we go. Black men don't know how to court strong black women. So we have to go out here and tame beasts as well. Yeah. We have to go out here and know how to wrangle the bronco or the stallion. They're stallions now. So we have to know how to wrangle the stallion. All right. We have to be professional beast tamers. Because we're supposed to, and you see, even in this article, right? It's talking about their mindset and how they think we're supposed to deal with their drama. We are supposed to deal and acknowledge their drama and trauma. We supposed to do that, right? You know, permanent underclass, you Negroes are supposed to put up with all the stuff that these black women are talking about or what they're doing. We're almost done, but I'm gonna go ahead and post the link and give you bros a chance to settle in. If you would like to, come on up, discuss how you feel about the article as we move through it. All right, there we go. The link has dropped. We're going to walk our way through the article. We're going to finish it up. So yeah, most of their rebuttals are that the passport bros are weak. Black men that don't know how to court strong black women. Bullshit. Some women believe that the passport bros' true intention are to have sex with foreign women, and they're not searching for a love. Question: is it your goddamn business either way? Is it your goddamn business either way? Yeah. We don't need your fucking permission. That's the thing. That's our rebuttal. We don't need your fucking permission. We don't need you. We don't need to go ask you, can we travel? We don't give a damn what y'all think. We don't care. This is for us. Okay? This is FUBU, nigga. This is for us, by us, nigga. It's FUBU around here. I'm gonna start wearing my FUBU shit again. If I can get a FUBU shirt, I'm gonna start wearing that shit. Yep, I make my own shirts. I'm just gonna say FUBU passport bros. Yo, get out of town, man. Yo, seriously, man, the level of just, oh my gosh. And I can already see before I read it, just quickly skimming it. The ish. Here comes the shit. Yeah, some women believe that passport's true intention to have sex with foreign women, and they are not searching for love. Other women have gone as far as to say they are emulating their white masters. Oh yeah, they have talked that dumbass talk. They have talked that dumbass talk. We know full goddamn well the issue here with black women is a power structure issue. Black women, for the majority, their problem is that they're not white women, which is why so many of them will say, "Oh, y'all haven't conquered white supremacy. Y'all haven't done this. Y'all haven't done that. Y'all niggas ain't Superman. We don't owe you respect because you owe us. You owe us conquering the country." What? We owe them conquering the damn country before we can get basic respect. So now, not only do you need to be a rapper, not only do you need to be an athlete, not only do you need to have six figures, not only do you need to be over 6 feet tall, not only do you need to have um at least an 11.5-inch dick. Now you need to be able to be Kratos and conquer Olympus. Now you need to be able to conquer Olympus. Now you need to be able to go up there, look at Zeus in the face, and kick his ass. Oh my god, the delusion, bro. Yo. Um they are emulating their white masters who have been notoriously known for colonizing and going to third world countries to find submissive wives for decades. That point alone is stupid. Okay. That point alone is ignorant. It really is. All right. In what power structure do we have to be able to conquer and dominate these women? They act like, see, this is the thing. This is the biggest part of the disrespect is that black women's perspective of these other women is that they're lowly, docile, in need. They're getting used and abused by American men who travel. And this is why I'm glad for females like Filipina P and stuff like this, and these other women who speak out on TikTok, and even the African women who say, "Look here, sisters, y'all need to chill because now y'all starting to talk all this ish about us, calling us dirty feet and all this other. Look here, we don't need nothing from America. We are good over here where we at in Ethiopia, in South Africa, in Ghana, in the Caribbean. Okay, because the majority of Americans' women ego is they think that every woman wants to be them. Every woman wants to be in America. No, they don't. No, they don't. American women, y'all need to hear this and hear this. Hear this clearly. You're not winning like you think you are. Not like that. Because other races of women know how to compete. Other cultures of women know how to compete. And you think you don't have to. Therefore, you're losing your men. All right. Moving on. Some women stated that they're getting foreign. Some women stated that they're getting foreign women at the exchange rate, as foreign women only want those men for the little bit of money they give them, and they aren't falling in love with them either. Measure love. Measure it. How can you measure my experiences with the woman I'm dealing with? How can you tell me what I'm gaining and receiving? If I'm not mistaken, Pablo said, I don't give a damn. I'm getting what I want. End of story. She's keeping my belly full and my balls empty. Give a shit. If she pop off for some nefarious activity, and if she comes around to be a traitor, guess what? We'll deal with it then. But until now, she's doing her job. There it is. Right? Keep it rocking. If the black women who are anti-passport bros have called these men scum, predators, and in some instances, pedo, which is ridiculous. By the way, we already know how stupid this is. Even more interesting is the feedback from women in other countries. They are also going to their TikToks in support of the passport bros. stating that some women in the Western world do not know how to treat their men. Big facts. Let's go. Big facts. See, and this also goes to another point I had, and I said, when I did my video about Pearl, and we talked about Pearl when she first came through this space from Lapeef platform, I said it from the beginning. I said Pearl is just the beginning. Y'all are so worried about Pearl. The reason brothers or men in general would champion a Pearl, it ain't about, how attractive and stuff like this she is. Not really. The point behind Pearl is her mindset. And she's also showing that she's willing to fight for men who have been downtrodden, disrespected, and can't even have traditional families. And now it's getting bigger. Just like I said it was. Just like when I said that Pearl was just the beginning, we're going to start to see more and more women from different neck of the woods start to come in these spaces and start to give their opinion, because that's the last piece of this that we don't get that much, is women of other cultures and other countries speaking on what they are seeing from American women. And that's what's really going to break this thing wide open. Where am I at? They also are TikToks. Some say American women lack femininity, and when these men get to these countries, they treat them like they should be treated. They speak proudly on their traditional values and beliefs, even if they aren't from countries such as the United States and the United Kingdom. However, a group of black men also speak against passport bros, claiming they're just a group of guys with no game. Ah, yes, the game guys. The bros couldn't land a successful black woman because they lack intelligence, or similar to what the black women were stating. The passport bros are a group of liars looking to sexually exploit different countries because they were never accepted in social circles where they're from. Interesting. Finishing up, it says your thoughts. No matter how you slice it, the Passport Bros movement will continue to grow. One of their Facebook groups has over 10,000 followers, and men of all ethnicities and tax brackets are taking to social media and expressing their personal experiences to the rest of the world. I'd love to know how you feel about Passport Bros movement. Is it positive for black men to find love in other countries, or is this just another excuse to get laid without putting in work while undervaluing black women? What? Please sound off in the comments below. Be on the lookout for our next article when we go to speak to one of the vocal leaders of the Passport Bros movement. Oh, really? The leader, huh? Okay, one of the vocal leaders. Now I'm curious to see who that's going to be. Yeah, okay. So that is the article. Okay. Brothers, the link is in the chat. If y'all want to come up and give your opinion about it. If y'all want to speak on the movement, if y'all want to speak on this nonsense that these nasty ratchets are trying to say, who we are and who we're not. But this article does show me one thing. They have been watching. They have definitely been watching. I told y'all they have been watching us. They've been listening to all the different Manosphere content. We know that that's evident because obviously they're trying to take down Tate. So we know what's up. We see it. They're watching us, and they have been watching us for a long time. Like I said, link is in the chat. Link is in the chat. Come on up, say how you feel. Talk about it. You know what I'm saying? This is basically the virtual barbershop here. You know how we get down. You know what I mean? Everybody's opinion is valid. You know what I mean? Come in here and say what you got to say. Let me see. Let me stop this real quick. All right, cool, no problem. Yeah. I mean, come on in, man. Say what you got to say about it. Talk about it. Let's chop it up. Let's have the discussion. Passport Bros, we mainstream. Let's talk about it. You know what I mean? Is this good? Is this bad? Do we need more representation in the mainstream spaces? All right. Do we need more of this? Yeah. Shout out to Tim Howard. Appreciate you supporting family. Appreciate that, Brody. Um, I'm gonna repost the link just in case. Go ahead, post the link. Yep. Posting it again. But it says, yeah, the source is fire. Appreciate you, Tim Howard. Appreciate you. I said receipts only, no arguing or debating. The BMO way, facts. Hashtag. Shout out to BMO. Shout out to the brothers of BMO. Shout out to Prez and the admin group over in BMO. You know what I'm saying? We moving, we making it happen, we shaking and baking. And shout out to the BMO brothers who made it out to South Africa and have been making it out to South Africa, and who have been, spreading the good gospel of South Africa. I ain't gonna lie, they got me ready to go. I know my brother Jamal. I'm pretty sure he went out there in South Africa. I heard it's, yeah, I heard it gives Rio a run for its money. I heard it gives Brazil a run for its money. For brothers who've actually been there, South Africa, boy, them Africans, boy, you know what I'm saying? On the motherland, boy, they waiting for American brothers. But the biggest thing though that I really did hear about South Africa, I see you in the back. I got you. I really did hear that one of the biggest things about South Africa is they are very welcoming to American black men, and also they are very much there are a lot of business opportunities for us as black men to get involved with real estate and things like this. So shout out to the admin and BMO, shout out to Prez, you know what I'm saying, for spreading the message, spreading the word, and letting it be known that, hey, bro, like, I know everybody likes South America and in the Latin countries, but brothers, even Africa is popping for black men right now. Real talk for y'all. You know what I'm saying? For us, for everybody, man. All right. Mr. GG is in the building. Let's see. What's happening, brother? How you doing? Welcome to the show. Appreciate you for stopping in. So we have the article. All right. What are your thoughts?
Gotcha. Thank you for bringing me to the show. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yeah, you coming in strong, bro. You good?
Okay, very good, very good. First of all, I want to say thank you for bringing me to the show. This is more like kind of like a part two from a Pablo stream, I guess, huh?
Yeah, for real. Facts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. This thing is going super viral. I mean, I was on I'm just over there at Black Man Travels channel now, man. Aaron Ferris, he's live right now. I had to step out. I was like, oh shit, and he's actually going into deep detail about this article, And then you got even guys who are not passport bros, man. Who's in the red pill manosphere or in the MGTOW manosphere, and they're talking about this, and it's like, oh wow, this is for real. This is
Mm-hmm.
like for real, And me, I come from, my channel is mostly based on men, giving them advice and giving them encouragement. And I deal with a diverse group of men, coming from all backgrounds, and we're calling, either women out on their bullshit or giving guys solutions of, okay, what can we do since we're in a position that we can't settle for the type of quality of women that are here in Western countries. You understand? And so what's going on here, with this article being read, and this is just a stepping stone, guys, right? This is basically showing, in my opinion, that this isn't just a black thing that's going on necessarily. Man, this is like a man thing. You got guys from all walks of life and all races, man, who's going through the same shit, man, or whatever, man. Now, in my opinion, I hear some guys say, well, yeah, white guys got the pick of the litter, or white guys got the pick of the litter. Yeah, I get that. I do, or whatever, right? But even though they got the pick of the litter, it does not mean that these guys are not getting treated like crap, or going to divorce court, or getting hit for thousands of dollars in child support, or getting fake criminal allegations put on them from women. And so, this article is basically showing us that hey, when a small amount of either black brothers or just brothers, period, come together, man, and either be consistent with it, right? It shows that basically, though, right, that eventually, right, it'll start off as a seed and eventually blossom once you fertilize it, give it water, nutrients, and the right things to go. I mean, in my opinion, it just shows also too that Charles Tyler's dream, man. Charles Tyler, shout out to him and RIP to him, and also to the Black Man Options. It actually shows that basically that his dream and his legacy still led on, man. That's all it does, man. The stuff that Kevin Samuel said too, right? It also showed before he passed away. This basically gave women a warning, man, that hey, if they don't take heed to this man's advice, then winter's going to come and men are going to do something. And now men are actually not only just talking about it, but actually are doing it, and I'm really, really happy about it. Very supportive about it, so, but yeah, that's pretty much in a nutshell my take on the article and what's going on with the passport movement.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, man, this is like it's getting to escape velocity right now. This is at a point to where, and I keep saying it, such a small number of men. We are a small number, and especially brothers who are talking about traveling the way we talk about it, and we are having excellent, excellent, turnout, excellent results, excellent conversations, excellent men, brilliant minds who are coming together on one accord. And we're not going to be disrespected. We're not going to take this nonsense from, women, because a lot of men just want to have traditional family. They just want to have, a strong legacy to build off of and stuff like this. And more men. This is why I don't really have a lot of smoke toward white guys who are experiencing it, because we're all in the same country. There are no borders between white community, quote unquote, black community, stuff like this. There's no real borders because, everybody's kind of interdating, so a lot of the same issues are easily going to pop up between black men, white men, and even more so for them because they have been fighting against things in the court systems. They have been fighting against, the child support laws and stuff like this. And white guys have been fighting this battle. There is a white manosphere or manosphere general for a reason. Black men wanted to focus more on things that are a little bit more black related, but at the same time, a lot of us are still saying a lot of the same things, which is why you will have brothers who are like a Donovan Sharp, Coach Greg Adams, and Fresh and Fit, even though they're both black. They don't really get represented as being any black manosphere, but a lot of the same things, same issues that we have between us as men, it's relevant. It's all the way around. It's full circle.
Sure.
And,
Sure.
yeah. So, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that we do share a lot of the same griefs. It's just though some of these red pillars, and I'll have to be real honest with you. I actually, because I come from the MGTOW, the red pill community, and I don't necessarily agree with a lot of the bullshit that they spew. There's red pill dating coaches, and I really disagree with the fact of a lot of the standpoints that these dating coaches preach, encouraging young men, vulnerable guys to spend thousands of dollars in their courses just to learn how to get six-figure incomes or be this high-value man, and then get these beautiful cars or text messaging mastery or don't call a woman in 6 days, all that crap or whatever, right? It's garbage or whatever, right? In my opinion, okay? Because after these men actually build themselves up, and I've seen this too many times, they build themselves up, they buy these courses, and then soon enough, they're like, well, focus on yourself, focus on your purpose, and magically these women will come with you not even thinking about it. And then when these guys go years, man, getting businesses and being very, very successful, and then they're not getting the results they want from these women in North America, the first thing these dating coaches said, and I just went live last night on my channel about this, the first thing these dating coaches say, well, it's your fault. So damn. So I done spent like $2,000 to $8,000 on your course, and this is for you to say it's my fault?
Yep.
I'm out of here. Done. Gone. But about time you spend on the low, just on the low, $2,000 on a plane ticket going over to Brazil or going to Thailand, right? And then after that, right? Because your highest expense is just your plane ticket, right? Everything else after that, your hotel, your Airbnb, or what have you get is going to be cheap. And then, your Lyfts and your Ubers, or some countries use Lime or whatever. It gets cheaper from there. And by then, you've been and had the damn time of your life, and you don't have to be six figures. You could have made 20, 30 grand a year, an average man's wage, went over groceries, had the best time of your goddamn life, and came your ass right back here, and then started preparing for either your next trip to go back there or to prepare for yourself to live there permanently as an expat. That, my friend, sounds like a way better plan to me than to work my ass off just to get unappreciated and get disrespected by a North American woman who will self-sabotage the relationship and self-sabotage herself, not blindly not seeing that this man is trying to create a path of success, not only for him, but for her. And that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, man. Hey, yeah, big facts, bro. You ain't telling no lies, man, because a lot of what they'll try to push on the dating coach side of the house is, you brothers need to buy my course and buy my this and buy my that, so you can better deal with these women. And our stance, this is why Passport Bros is separate. We're not in the space of entertaining these women like that, though, because we have been and had different experiences to where, just like you said, the most expensive thing that you'll pay for really is getting there. And then after you get there, everything else is just so much less expensive, and enjoying yourself, the price of a meal. And I mean, the currency, when you realize the power of the currency, when you realize the power of another culture welcoming you with open arms, it's one of the things that they're the most afraid of. They're most afraid of the brain drain that can happen from America if more American black men start to get on this, this mindset. Just imagine if more celebrity dudes, even though they kind of do, but they have more a mindset of flying them out. But imagine more celebrity dudes will got in the mind state of they're just going to start living in different countries, which I know a lot of them do, especially the athletes. But we have this movement already taken off. And just imagine if different celebrities start co-signing it. Imagine if you see a tweet from somebody like a Kyrie or somebody or whatever, start talking about
yes.
hashtag
yes.
Imagine a hashtag from my ad. Oh my, it's over. It's done.
Yes, I'm telling you, guys like Carmelo Anthony or Bill Gates. I'm just looking at this stuff,
Ooh, at that
Kyrie,
point,
like you said, LeBron. Yes.
Yeah.
It's over.
Just imagine. It's because they already date out. We already know they dating out. But just imagine.
Yes, I'm waiting for guys like Tom. I'm waiting for guys like Tom Brady and LeBron James to give like press conferences, man, of them actually either coming from overseas or heading out there. I'm waiting for it.
Tom, and if I'm not mistaken, Tom has a house in Brazil. I believe they still have a house. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know if she took it from by now, but Tom Brady and Brazil, they do have a spot in Brazil. So I mean,
that's what a guy was telling me. They said, well, Tom Brady's wife is Brazilian, but he violated the number one rule we always say, and that is that you don't bring these bitches over here. No. If she goes from Brazil to here, she'll transform and go from being a woman to a straight 100% bitch over time. I'm not saying it's going to be overnight. I'm not going to say, oh, boom, she instantly changed like this. No, but over a period of time, because, think about it. You can't take a lion from Africa, right, or a shark from out of the sea, whatever it may be, and then bring them to the zoo and then really think that they're still going to be shark and they're still going to be lion. No, it's going to take a process for them to adapt to that zoo, right? Because they're used to being in the wild habitat. Well, the same shit when it comes to a woman. You take her out of a traditional environment, a cultural environment, and you bring her to this shit festival over here. Yeah, over a period of time, she's going to adapt to it. Now, I'm not suggesting that that's what the man did or whatever, because I don't know their whole relationship situation, whatever. But from some of the key points that you're telling me, and then some of the guys have told me, man, it's like you got a Brazilian woman, and then now FTX Bitcoin is falling to shit, and then she's divorcing you for a taijutsu instructor. I mean,
Mm.
oh my God,
Well, yeah,
and then after I seen that game with the 49ers when he lost, I'm like, man, this man got a lot on his mind.
yeah. It's a funny story behind that. Giselle being who she is, she's Brazilian, but she's more like westernized, Americanized because she was already moving around in the States before Tom. She was already kind of doing her thing. Tom's actual
Oh,
mistake was shooting at somebody who considered him to be her equal. That's really where Tom
there it
kind of got
is.
off. That's
There
where
it
he
is.
messed. If he was actually in Brazil and got a natural Brazilian woman who comes from a bit, we'll say, more average woman backing, she's not some world renowned
Thank you.
model. He would have been more like into somebody who's going to be a little bit
Thank
more
you.
level, who's going to be a bit more on his team instead of having her own agenda. He would have fared differently. That's where he actually messed up because Giselle is Brazilian, yes, but her mentality was already that of an American woman, and that's
There
why I
it is.
said like that's where he really messed up because
Right.
Giselle was the one who kind of started pushing all these different things. Tom, you need to retire so I can go and continue to be this world international model. I got stuff to do. You need to come home and watch your kids and this and that. And Tom was just like, you know what? I ain't going for that. It ain't happening. So
Yeah,
just
I
imagine.
mean, yeah, I really think that Tom Brady should have a consultation with you, on how to properly vet these women, or one of the brothers. I mean, for real. I mean,
Yeah.
everything you laid was all stones, man. You hit it right on the money.
Yeah. Like that's the thing is that Tom shot at somebody who, because, and this is what it was. Because if I'm not mistaken, Giselle had already been
Mhm.
around. She was with Leonardo DiCaprio first, anyway. And then
Wow.
he wound up, dealing with, so she was already in the industry. She was already doing what she did. Giselle is Brazilian in title. She's not really, what we would consider a cultured Brazilian woman and this and that. She's very much a
Correct.
modern Americanized, if you want to call her
Correct.
westernized. The thing about it is that she linked up with her jiu-jitsu instructor. That's very important.
There it is.
It was her jiu-jitsu instructor who's also Brazilian. That's the cat she started rolling with, taking the pictures with, and was hanging out down in I believe it was Miami with. And this whole thing started to just get stupid. And but just imagine cats like Tom, just all of a sudden he just rolls up, or he goes to Eastern Europe or something and that. And I can't wait for the day to come where one of these celebrity dudes hits him with a cold tweet with hashtag passport bros. It's
Hey man, speak it in existence for us, brother. Speak it in existence. Please do it.
It's coming. I'm telling you, man. We're gonna see a rapper or somebody of high status because we know they're watching. You got Yahoo News is doing articles, and I gotta make this point ever so strong so brothers can understand. Like American population, the black population, black men who travel, like we are that big, and we are kicking off this much noise. It's crazy. It's crazy right now how strong an idea is that can't be stopped. That's what I'm saying. I'm waiting for the rappers. I'm waiting for other brothers in different areas of culture to start saying, hey, them passport bros, they be moving like this. Man, they be posting these receipts. Man, you see them fine ass women they be having from Colombia. Man, them brothers out there living life doing this stuff and this and that. And just imagine if brothers like that were they got the money.
Yeah. You got a guy, you got an average guy, regular guy who's making 20, 30 grand a year, living way better than a multi-millionaire person here in the States overseas. Living way better. Average guy that's making 20, maybe 30 grand a year, right? Right? Not even six figures. I'm just throwing it out there, right? That got monthly VA checks coming in, or they got a pension coming in, whatever, and a retirement fund coming in, right? And these guys are like in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, living way better than multimillionaires overseas right now, kicking it. And when Zuma Thailand did that video, I don't know if you guys seen it, about that 78-year-old man, right, that married a 36-year-old woman, that was like that. If that didn't tell you to get your passport, I don't know what to say.
bruh,
I don't know
bruh.
what to say. I
There's
really don't know. Oh, for real. I mean, come on. It lets you know that life is never over until God or you, I don't know what you guys believe in, or whoever says it. So,
yeah, and more men are waking up to that fact. That's the real red pilling or awakening of a lot of men is realizing their value. You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest thing is men realizing their value right now. And now the world has no choice but to acknowledge it. They can't hide and act like they didn't know who Kevin Samuels was. They can't hide and act like they had never heard of a Black Manosphere. They can't hide and act like they had never heard of a Rollo Tomasi. Now, because the word is getting out, mainstream people having to recognize it. This is a little bit more on
yeah.
the general manosphere side of the house, but another example of that is if who for those of you who may watch a little bit of Rollo Tomasi, you know, he started going on to Jedediah Bila's podcast. And in the beginning, she came from a political background, I think Fox News or something like that. She came out of that territory and didn't know what this stuff was. But after a couple sit downs with just Rollo, bringing the facts to her, putting it on her, and letting her know what's really going on, she about had like a whole about face on her perception of like what men are dealing with, what men are going through, what's really going on out here in these streets. Even somebody like her, who was like a news correspondent type person and whatever she was doing in the political space, she had to even say like, "Wow, I did not realize, and I understand what this red pill stuff is. I see how strong men having a perspective, having a point, standing on it, because they're not just because their immediate reaction is to say, oh, we're all just angry. But when they realize we're coming at it with logic, stats, statistics, data, and we're putting things in perspective, and men are comparing notes, now they can't, it's almost they have no space to really try to use their petty arguments. They're defeated. It's done. So
I
that's
set up.
one of the big reasons. Go ahead.
When I told my boys on my channel, right, and I told them specifically, right, because like I said, I came from the MGTOW community, and I
Yeah.
said though, right, instead of complaining about women, and keeping your dick hard and masturbating and jacking off and saying I'm off women or whatever, there's gonna come a point in your time, man, where you're gonna get tired of that goddamn shit, man, and something has to give, right? So there's been, other guys, in MGTOW, some of them, not them all, right? But some of them will say, well, you guys with those damn passports, you need to stop telling people to travel. You need to stop it. Okay. You need to stop it right now. But it goes back to what I say, the same question I asked the goddamn dating coaches too, who tell us about those $1,000 a course. Okay. Then what solution do you have? The laws are not changing. Guys are going months and years without sex. Okay. And they're getting treated like garbage. Okay. What other alternative solution do you have? And they don't have any other solution. So I tell my boys on my channel, the only solution you need to do is change your environment, change your location. If the fish are not biting in the damn pond you're in, and you shot out multiple different types of bait, it's time for you to go to another habitat, another location, man. There's different types of bodies of water all around the world, from rivers to ponds, gulfs. I mean, there's all types of them, right? Niles, whatever. You can do whatever the hell you want or whatever, right? But I would not continue to keep getting on the hamster wheel. Let's hope for the best, and then let's just hope for change, and then absolutely nothing's happening because no one's doing anything. Nothing. I had a young lady just told me, and I just talked about this on a live stream yesterday, a couple days ago. Well, I heard you passport bros, and I admire what you're doing, but you guys need to watch out how you're talking. You need to watch out for this. You need to watch out for that. I said, let me tell your ass something. Instead of telling us what we need to watch out for, right? Because we've been spending 50 plus years, right, being absolutely silent and not saying a damn thing and getting embarrassed on Ricky Lake, Waldo, Oprah Winfrey, goddammit, Sally Jesse Raphael. We've been embarrassed and humiliated on all those shows. What you need to do is put on your big girl pants and start calling your women out and hold women accountable. The men, we got this here. If I'm messing up, right, I'm sure an older guy, a younger guy will say, hey, Gigi, this is where you're messing up at. And he'll pull me to the side. All right. We hold men accountable because this is our nature too. The only problem is you women don't want to hold yourself accountable or your other sisters accountable, but yet you quick to tell another man what to do. You know what she told me? What the problem is that well, ain't no women gonna do anything. They ain't gonna do anything. Oh, so it's better for you to tell another man what to do who's refusing to do anything. We're not doing nothing anymore. We're done.
Mm-hmm.
So why continue to tell us to do something that we won't do? We've already made our mind made up. We've already checked out with our passports. A lot of us became MGTOWs and red pills, and a lot of us too, man. We're not even pills or MGTOW. Guys just said we're done. We're out. But now we got a solution. We got a passport, the ability to travel. We got boots on the ground, evidence on video. Who can beat that? No one can beat that. And so my whole thing is, man, that women need to start holding more women accountable. If you don't hold your other women accountable here, then you're going to see more and more men disappear. Those women over in Southeast Asia and Brazil, man, and Africa, they hold their own daughters, man, their own sisters, hell, their own friends they're not related to them, right, from their culture, accountable. If she's fucking up, man, they're going to check them right in and there, man.
Mm-hmm.
There's no folding arms, giving up and saying I'm not going to do that. They're going to check them and they're going to hold them accountable. That's what the women lack here, is trying to hold each other accountable. They quick to find out something wrong with the man and tell us what we need to correct. But no, we're correcting each other already. We got brothers out here trying to throw sweepstakes right now to try to give out passports to younger men out here, man. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, man. I'm just saying, for real. Trying to open up scholarships, man. Did you hear what Pablo said, man? That he wanted to try to open up a scholarship fund, man. And, you know, for real. And I was telling somebody today. I said, why they up here talking bad on TikTok? Get this, and on YouTube, this is what's gonna really happen when we start doing some real stuff, like start opening up scholarships, man, and opening up back to school drives where we'll go to pick up a couple villages out there in Africa. We're gonna pull up in a big truck, have a barbecue out there, and have a live band out there, and we call it the back to school band. Start giving out free school supplies and gear. Okay.
Oh yeah,
man. Do you know how viral that stuff gonna go?
Ooh, just imagine, man. Imagine.
Yeah, we're rebuilding what? A brand new community in a whole nother location.
That's it.
We don't have to suffer for it. Mm-hmm. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you good. But I was just gonna say, I think that is gonna be the outcome, the natural outcome of what's gonna happen. We're gonna start seeing more and more brothers in different countries with black owned restaurants, even though I know that they're popping up in different spots, but you're going to start to see more. Me and one of the admin brothers that I sat down and had a conversation with, in BMO, when we talk, we had ideas talking about having our own street in spots like Copacabana. Imagine a whole spot where it's brothers are running the stores. They got hip hop stores. We're selling our swag, our merch, just like those kind of, how like in the mall, you kind of got like those swag stores with like, just regular like street clothes. And then you got, brothers running it, stuff like that, selling the music, different ideas, soul food restaurants, if it ever came to whatever the case, being able to incorporate ourselves in spots like that, in places like that on a higher level, to where we got hotels in our name, or we're owners of some type of hotel for brothers who are coming through. We got an Airbnb chain that is under certain groups, that is under us, or just things like that, ideas like that are allowing brothers to really start to see them. Because I think most brothers agree with it, but they're not so quick on it because they want to see it happen. They want to see it happen first. They want to sit back and watch the front line go first. So okay, you're gonna start. I would say you try to get in on the ground floor so you can, rise to the top. Because just imagine if we get out here and we've been breaking ground in certain places, and now we're business owners. We own a hotel, we own a chain of restaurants, and now we're also we are employing the locals, but we'll have brothers who, now imagine this, you won't even, as an American, you won't even have to really bring, at some points, you wouldn't even have to bring the American dollar with you. You could just pack up, get a ticket, head out, and go work for your homeboy who owns such and such chain of restaurants or hotels. Just go work for him over there in Brazil or Africa. Just imagine. All you got to do is just get a ticket and just go, because your homeboy works in the DR. He owns like a chain of hotels, willing to give you a managerial position on certain this and this, and then you're making this amount much money. Being able to help you, put you in a place of ownership. Stuff like this, to where the money that you make will help cover you
There
in
it
different
is.
countries. You know what I'm saying? Like, brothers, we have these ideas are real, and they're going to start to come to fruition as we start to get more and more brothers on one accord in certain locations. And I think that's the thing that they fear the most, is they have all these projections about who we are and how we move, and it's all about sex tourism and all sorts of shit. No, ladies, it is for y'all, because y'all don't hold the same power we do. That's the problem. Just like old girl on Ed's channel last night. I don't know if y'all were listening. He was talking about one of these chicks. I can't remember her name. I think her name is Violet, something on TikTok. Was talking about her first experience going to the DR, where her first experience going to the DR, I believe she wound up getting knocked up by some regular, Dominican dude. But she was all captivated and, all wound up in how attractive he was, wound up getting knocked up by them.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, yo, ladies, y'all try to put all these projections on us. That's the type of shit y'all do. Y'all the ones who go down there and get slipped up and caught up, because they don't have no advantages. Think about this. They don't have any advantages going down there and trying to do what we do, because the perspective is different. When we go, we can change a bitch's life for $50,000. But what are they gonna do? You got all this money. You got all this money, independent woman, trying to go down to Jamaica or DR and get you one of these niggas, and you want to make him your little trophy toy. Sooner or later, he's gonna wake up and be like, "Look here, wait a minute. You don't run me though." He ain't gonna go for your bullshit, because the perspective for men and women is different. Okay, the perspective for men and women. A woman trying to be an alpha, like a male, does not come off the same way. You're not going to be able to run and stand up a household the same way that a man would, and wield the same respect from that man, because now you're stuffing him down into a box of being a less than male or a lesser male. And he's going to wake up and realize, like, wait a minute, this woman don't run me though. So you're not going to be able to go down there and just buy a man and change his life. That type of man, ladies, you would not want. Why? Because you're signing up to be his mother. And that's the exact same that they complain about for the dusties that they might deal with in the States. So for black women or women who travel like that, trying to go over there and solve your problems with going international and dealing with international males who are of lesser status, who have lesser money than you do, you are not helping. You're putting yourself in a worse position, because his currency is even lower than yours. So you trying to run over there and fix your problems, ladies, don't help you. That don't help you. So that's why I said things like this. This is why it's so serious for men to understand and realize their value. And don't let these females over here try to diminish you and bring you down and tell you who you are or what you're not. Because when you start making moves like that, they know you're untouchable. They know when we travel versus when they travel, it's completely different. It's different. The perspective is different. The mentality is different. We're coming over there with a different mindset. We're actually trying to build. Women are not going to go to another country and build. It's not going to happen. You're not going to bring your American way, because listen, the men are going to treat you like whores and the women are going to want to fight you. So you have no allies. You're not going to go out here and move like how we move. So y'all can travel all you want. And that's why I don't care about women traveling. But the perspective is different. The perspective is completely different. They can go over there and think that they're doing something and think that they're making moves. But your moves are minuscule. Your moves are actually smaller. Y'all are better staying here chasing after the rappers, because at least if you get on, it'll be to your advantage, versus trying to go down to a spot like the DR and finding a man you can raise. I mean, it's horrible. But like I said, those are the sad, imbalances that they don't want to acknowledge. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to acknowledge that it's not the same. And this is why we try to tell them we're not equals. Man, you know what I mean? We're not equals. Y'all need to recognize that. You know what I'm saying? It's sad. That when they wake up to the cold realization that these brothers in these other countries say, hey man, they'll do you the same way. And they got less money. So you really can't get nothing from them. Now, unless you're dealing with the top echelon of dudes in those countries, I guess. But are you what that brother's looking for though? And there it is. And there's your work is cut out for you. But anyway, brother, Mr. GG, man, what are your thoughts on that, G? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, we also got to look at it this way too. Their delusion kick in where they honestly believe that they have to 24 hours a day, 7 days a week compete with a man. Okay, that's where the delusion comes in. How many times you actually been on a date, right, with a woman here in the Matrix, right? Which, you know, a lot of us, majority of guys, and we all talked about this, the majority of us in the manosphere discovered typically either the red pill, MGTOW, or just guys in general conversation with the same similar stories, you know, where they went on a date and this woman looked like that she was feminine, but she was masculine as hell. And her competition came in when you were like, hey, well, I got to go to work in the morning or whatever. And then she's, well, I got 2 jobs. I got to work and everything, you know, so I'm just doing you're like, damn, baby, you know, I just said I got to go to work, you know, I mean, for real. All right, you know, well, I haven't been asleep in 3 days, you know, so, well, no, I got to get me some sleep, you know, I just haven't been asleep in an hour or whatever, you know. But anyway, you have a good night and everything, you know. And, you know, it's always a competition, man, you know, with these damn women. You know, they have to compete with a man. And the delusion comes in where they cannot compete. They can't compete with a man. They can't, you know. You go foreign traditional, man, 100%. These women have been taught since they were like 5, 6 years old, right, that they can't compete with a man. If anything, a man actually, right, compensates for the areas that she lacks in, and she compensates for the areas he lacks in. You understand? A lot, but the women here in the States, they have no idea. Now, even though we're going to meet some of those women that's always, well, I'm not like that, or which, you know, I told everybody that's going to be my new alarm clock. I'm going to set the alarm clock and I'm going to put on there, right? So when it wakes me up 5 in the morning, right? Oh, women are not like that. Oh, women are not like that. I'm going to wake up. Oh my God. You know, turn that shit on, you know, but because if I had like a $5 bill for every time I've heard a North American woman tell me that shit, man, I think my electric bill would be paid every single month for damn near at least the rest of my damn life. I've heard that shit too many damn times. I mean, let me ask you this, Chris. How many times have you heard a woman told you, all women are not like that, though, or I'm not that type, or that's them, you know, or you're picking the wrong women, you know? After we've told these women that we've actually had millions of guys, millions, all on YouTube and Facebook saying damn near the same thing or similar stories. How many times have you actually experienced that, Chris?
All the time. See it everywhere. All the time. You know what I mean? You got different brothers who, like I said, we're comparing notes. And, you know, when you try to address these women on every panel we've seen, on different spots that they go on, you know, you'll ask them and you'll try to basically put specific facts in front of them. And they'll say stuff like, well, that's not me. That's not this and that. Da, da, da. And it's just like, okay, it's not you, but it's all of your homegirls. Okay. Not you, but it's all of your homegirls. And so we're supposed to just sit here and say, okay, you're the exception, but everyone else but you. Well, I'm not like that. But then when you sit down there and talk to them long enough, you'll start to see like what the result or the things that you have done. The reason you're in the situation you're in is the result of the decision that you made. This is your fault. This is your fault. You can't blame nobody else. Just like that interview with Brittany Renner when she was sitting there with Pearl and Tate. Just was like, hey, you know, as you listen to Tate indirectly, you know, undress Brittany in front of the whole, you know what I'm saying, everybody sitting there, because he was talking directly to Brittany, you know what I'm saying, indirectly, talking about, you know, all the reasons why she has put herself in a bad situation. And then she started to get frustrated talking about, okay, well, what can a girl like me do? What can I do? What can I do then? Fine, since I'm so bad, what can I do? Well, you need, and Pearl said it, lower your damn standards. Ain't no, like, these rapper athletes and all these other dudes, they're not really going to be in the running to hold you up as the type of woman that they're going to have as their only girl, be loyal to, and you're the main chick and all this. That time for you is kind of pretty much past. You got too many scars and you talk too much. You have put your business
And you're
out there.
damaged. And you're damaged goods. Damaged goods.
Facts. She's damaged goods. So it's just like, brothers, they see it. Now, you're probably going to have to go with a dude who's a little bit more regular degular, and you're still, even for him, you're going to have to give him a good deal. Because the problem with Brittany is that you're known for your scars. And at first, she thought she was clapping. Yeah. And at first, she thought she was clapping back at everybody, talking about, well, I'm just going to own it. I'm just going to own it. I'm the villain. I'm the whore. I'm the slut. I'm going to own it. Honey, you have destroyed your image. And
Thank you.
I think the
Kevin Samuels interview, right, really put the topping on this cake along with this the Andrew Tate shit, man. You know, have you listened to that long Kevin Samuels interview with her?
I didn't catch all of that interview, but I know she was there.
Yeah, you got to, man. Yeah, you got to, man. Whenever you got to, man, if you got about an hour or two of time one day, just sit back, man, you know, and boom, just let that shit play, man, and you'll see the rabbit hole. Like, she really talks about how much she's a slut bag and she's nasty and oh my God, I don't want to ruin the surprise. Okay, you need to go and watch the Kevin Samuels interview with her, man. He gets her to start confessing without manipulation. She's just coming out with it. I'm like, wow. And did you hear about Deion Sanders?
When he brought her to the school?
Deion Sanders said this right in an interview. I think this was a couple days or a week ago. He said if Brittany Weiner was around the time that I was growing up and going to high school football, I would be $15 million richer. I'm gonna let you put that together.
Yeah. I saw that.
I'm gonna let you do the math on that one, okay?
Yeah. I need to get on that. Yeah. I saw the thumbnail. That's crazy. That's crazy. Ooh, man. Wow. Even Deion is chiming in, you know, just because like I said, these athletes, these dudes, they see her. Like, she wrote a whole book on the things that she was doing, kind of like behind the scenes. Even though she changed the names, motherfuckers still knew who she was talking about. Like, you know, because you're known. So the guys who know that dude and know that they were messing with Brittany, they know that she just wrote a book and is putting y'all's business in the streets. So his boys know what business they had, because now not only is she moving like a straight 304, she's also moving like a loudmouth 304. You know what I'm saying? The one thing you can respect about a woman who's in the industry, sex industry, doing her thing, is she keeps her mouth closed. Okay. And what's worse than a whore is a bad whore. If you're gonna be a whore, you better be a good one. Now, if you're gonna be a bad whore out here running your mouth in the streets, you're not even good at being a whore, hon. You have fallen. That shit's rough.
When I seen Patrice O'Neal, right? Do you know who Patrice O'Neal is?
Yeah, comedian. Yeah.
Okay, got you. Yeah. All right. So Patrice O'Neal, for a while, I was asleep on Patrice O'Neal. Okay. And me, as you get to know me, I like stand-up comedy. I have a sense of humor. Okay. When he did that interview, I believe with Howard Stern, and he talked about his experience in Brazil, even with the prostitutes, and he was saying, man, you know, after he had his experience with the prostitutes and the women out there, he immediately came back right here to the United States and broke up with his woman immediately. Because, see, when it comes to the prostitutes down there, you're not getting the same damn quality as these goddamn women here. Nowhere. No. Because, see, not only you're just, getting sex or whatever, but you're also getting respect, and then the cooking and cleaning, and then the stroking of the ego, whatever the hell you want or whatever, man. And you're just not getting the same damn quality. If you decide to go play with a prostitute, that's your business. But what he was saying is that you're still not getting the quality of the treatment and the respect as you would here in the United States. It's just not going to happen. Even if you went to Canada, it's not going to happen, man. Because this is a traditional culture. And with Brittany Renner or whatever, right? Even if she was a person that called herself being, we're going to say, ex prostitute or what have you. When it all boils down to it, and when it's all said and done, right? No one on God's green earth, unless you trick them and manipulate them, right, is going to really wife you up, man, and put on that white cape and save your ass. There's no Captain Saving Hoes. There's no Captain Curse. A lot of these guys like to use simp. I don't like using the word simp. I'm old school, man. I'm from the millennials. I like to use Captain Kirk, Captain Save a Hoe, Captain Planet. You know, well, you know, no one's about to do that shit, Brittany. It's not going to happen. They'll smash, they'll smash and they'll hit or whatever, man. You know, get a quick blowjob or whatever. But that about pretty much it. You know, send you on your way and that's it.
Yeah, you're right. She's a side piece at best. That, you know, it's so bad. That's why I said she's out here doing side chick commercials, you know, for chicken sandwich. I think it was what, Crystals or something like that. Literally did a commercial talking about the side chick sandwich. I'm like, oh my God. How the mighty have fallen, because, you know, she's been broken down to, and that's why honestly I did not like the fact where she was telling Pearl in the same interview as well, talking about, you know, I think we could really work together. I think we should join forces and do all this. And I'm thinking to myself, I was like, Pearl, I'm thinking stay the hell away from that, because I really see it as her trying to use you as a way to stay relevant. I don't really think she has any interest in changing or really being different personally. She's really just trying to stay relevant at this point. You know what I'm saying? That's why I just like, I don't know, Pearl, your brand is completely different from her. Y'all be complete opposites. But you know, maybe if she was trying to have somebody to argue with, okay, I guess. But you know, I would advise Pearl to, you know what I mean, stay out of those waters. Don't let Brittany Renner, you know, drag you into some bullshit. And now all of a sudden you starting to act more like her. I think honestly, Brittany Renner, she'd be more or less trying to corrupt Pearl, trying to bring her down, you know, subconsciously at least. But it is sad.
Well, Brittany already has her audience and everything like that or whatever. But you know, not only she made a name for herself, you know, as being, the town slutback, if you will. Okay. Not only that, but when that gentleman, one of the Passport brothers, man, I forgot that guy's name. He's like from Asia or something, man. For real, I was on a panel with them on City and Show. I was on a City and Show like a couple of weeks ago, man. And the thing is, when they played the film, and he asked her, right? If she said, "Well, Kevin Samuel's my friend," I think you probably remember it, right? Don't you? When he said, she said, "Kevin Samuel's is my friend," you know, and he asked, "Okay, well, I'm gonna ask you a deep question. If Kevin Samuel's your friend, how come you didn't go to the funeral?" And she said, "How dare you? You gonna come? You know what? Fuck you! You just got a little dick, and you little dick." All he asked was, if Kevin Samuels was your friend, how come you didn't go to the funeral? She got immediate triggered. I'm talking, you would have thought she was an AK or some shit like that, man, a machine gun or a Tommy gun or something like that. Like, yes, man. And started talking about this man's genitals immediately.
Damn.
That video right there where her and him went super viral. Super viral. Austin Holloman put it on his show. Yeah, man, like, for real. This was I want to say maybe 4 months ago, if that. Yeah.
That's typical.
That's all bad.
Yeah. Typical Brittany Renner behavior, because, you know, when a man says it, it's a problem. You know what I mean? Like, a man can't say it. You know, that's why when Pearl is sitting there giving all them facts, she's less likely to come sideways to Pearl, you know, or when a woman says it, you know, it's like, you know, she'll actually give it more grace, because, and like, I think she even said she doesn't trust men, really. You know, Brittany Renner don't trust men. So she has these, she said she has these problems and she has these issues with men and stuff like this. And her thing is that she can't put her masculinity down to allow another man, or allow a man to come in and be an authoritative figure for her, follow his lead, stuff like this, because she don't trust men, and she has a specific view of men, and that leads to her actions. That it is why the way she is. So yeah, Brittany Renner, man, she's a lost cause, man. At this point, that's why I said even in the celebrity circles, these guys are realizing like, yo, even out here, bro, it's not you ain't missing nothing. These females is just as off the chain. Hell, Meg Thee Stallion just got Tory Lanez, fucking locked up. You know what I mean? But this is their type of dude, and I said it before in one of my other lives. Tory Lanez is the ideal type dude that these women say that they want us to go for, get it out the mud from the streets and got the swag, got the money, and all this and other. And this is how you treat him, because at the end of the day, it's about you.
I don't
That's
know.
why
I don't know, man. Like I said, I've seen chicks like that get guys out of jail later on, man. Like for real, they will go through tooth and nail and get the guy right out of the goddamn jail. She'll be right back with the guy. I've seen this shit. I don't know if you have. I don't know what state or city you're in, but I've seen it, man. I've seen it too many times.
Yeah. No, they'll definitely, because there's this weird thing about the kind of the toxic nature of how the community rolls, man. It's just, you won't put a brother through all that, and she want to put, and I just didn't like the way that she was putting everything on Tory, man. Like in regards to that conversation, like I really didn't like how she wants to throw the whole book at Tory Lanez and stuff like this, and we know damn well that based off the evidence as far as what we heard, more than likely it was her friend was trying to come at her with the gun, and Tory jumped in to basically try to save it and slow all that stuff down, and of course trying to save her own skin, throw the black man under the bus, right? Community, my ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
yeah, I don't know the whole story about that. Do you know the whole thing? I don't know the whole story about it.
I've kept my ears to the streets about it for the most part, and in a roundabout way, because like I said, I did a live on it. I talked about it, I broke it down. Listening to all the sources I had, compiling the evidence. Really, what it was is at the end of the day, Meg was in her feelings. She was jealous. A quick run overview would be like they were at Kylie's house for a swim party. Meg got drunk and belligerent. Her and her friend were there. Tory Lanez was originally messing with her friend Kelsey. Yeah, Kelsey got home, got sick, and then had to go back to Texas. And Meg also wound up kind of messing with Tory at one point as well. So then now we get to this pool party joint at Kylie Jenner's house. They're all hanging out. And now they see that Tory started trying to mess with Kylie. Meg starts to feel some type of ways. Things start to go kind of left. She starts wilding out. She winds up getting kicked out. She leaves at one point. Come back because she says she left something. And then some kind of way they talk Tory Lanez into coming with them. And I'm just like, bro, you crazy. I'm staying here with Kylie. Y'all stupid. But they wind up talking him out of the house. He winds up going. They in the car. Some point there's conflict. What seems to be between Meg and her friend. They get to arguing over, I guess, Tory, because every dude that her friend was messing with, Meg was going right behind her and messing with the same dude. So they get in the, how get. So yeah, they start to in the car. They going at it. They hot. They mad. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, those two are in the back seat. Tory Lanez was in the front. And then you got the driver. They get to going. Basically, at some point, they stop the car, talking about, they're gonna get out, they're gonna sell it, they have to throw them hands, and they get out of the car, start fighting. I guess at some point, from what we can tell, Kelsey went back to the car, goes for the gun that they tried to say belonged to Tory, but that's not exactly clear, but whatever. She goes back for the gun. She gets the gun. Now, as she's going back around to where Meg is, Tory Lanez hops out and basically is tussling with Kelsey, trying not to get her to squeeze off and shoot at Meg. So that's why we have the first 3 rounds got shot into the ground, and then like the last 2 got busted in the sky. And that's pretty much how it all went down. So the shots that got fired that came from Tory Lanez trying to stop Kelsey, some of the bullet ricocheted and caught Meg in the foot. So it was like shrapnel hit her in the foot. And she's basically trying to frame it as, instead of trying
he shot her.
Yeah, she's trying to say he shot her. No, he did not. That nigga was trying to save your life. and now you want to run this story about because you want to save your skin and try to make it seem like you wasn't fighting over him because your whole past came out, and that's why she was saying this ain't got to be about my past because it was about her past. Because
I
all
see,
the
got you. So, yeah, so she had to whip
yeah,
out the baby Joker on that ass, and
exactly,
just to save her home.
exactly, just save her image to try to not make it seem like she was hoeing and basically fucking all the niggas that her friend was fucking and try to save all of that and then save the fight and just wrap it all up and say, oh Tory tried to shoot me because I said something about he's a trash rapper. Like that don't make no sense. Tory Lanez had no motive to be upset with Meg. That's what it really came down. What it really all comes down to. That's why Kelsey was pleading the fifth, and they gave her immunity. Meg is blaming everything on Tory, and Tory's not saying nothing because, to me, this nigga's goofy still trying to save Meg, and she's still trying to throw this nigga under the jail. So
So
essentially,
you
that
can
was
tell me, so he's dumb as fuck and actually still got his cape on for a chick that actually kicked him way under the damn bus, even while the oil is still dripping and goddamn it, he's still trying to fucking goddamn cake for her, man. Wow, wow.
that's
And now, how many years is he looking at facing?
like 20 something, like 22, something like that.
His
Yeah.
whole career down the drain.
His whole career, they coming for him. It's crazy. But yeah, so that's where things are right now. That's why I said, bro, even the ideal guys that they try to talk about and they try to say that they, are, the most swag and the most money and all this, all it is different problems at different, or the same problem at different levels. Like, that's why I said, wait till these athletes and these rappers and these other dudes start talking about hashtag passport bros. It's over because they know when them brothers leave. And imagine all these brothers going to the NBA, and every time they getting drafted or whatever, they got some Latina, some foreign girl, some Asian girl, whatever up under their arm right there. And then now they buying houses over in Asia or something, and they only come to the States to ball. And as soon as the season's over, they gone. You know what I'm saying? You gonna kill all on the weekend and all this other shit is over, bro.
Well, let me ask you this. This is one thing I was also thinking too. Do you think as more and more brothers are starting to travel now, this is going to start, because a lot of these countries, they got a struggling economy and would love to have more visitors and more tourists. Do you think this would be a good mechanism for a lot of those countries to actually lighten up on their visas when it comes to men? Like some countries require a visa, but like Brazil, you don't have to have a visa anymore, from my understanding. Like right now, you don't have to have a visa, but they actually opened up what they call a digital nomad visa. Because you used to have like a visa where you can come in the country for a certain amount of time, but now I guess from my understanding in Brazil, you don't anymore. So I was thinking like, well, damn, as many guys is coming in and shit, is more money coming to those countries. Maybe, just maybe, those countries might lighten up on those visas, and what that's going to do is motivate guys to come over even more. Could that possibly be a fact also too?
I would say so because Brazil, there's a funny story behind that. The day that the Brazil government lifted the visas for Americans was the day I want to say, had my first trip there. I think it was just like June the 15th.
Wow.
That was
very ironic.
Right? I got my visa because before the day, I didn't even know it was coming because I was about to go down there and I was planning my trip. So I got my like a 10-year, I got a long ass visa thinking, all right, I'm going to get my visa joint. I'm going to be ready to go. And then come to find out that day while I was standing at the terminal, the check-in joint, the lady was just like, oh, so you got, she was, it was a black lady. She was just going over my stuff and just was like, okay, so I think you need a visa. I was just like, no, don't need a visa. I was like, as of today, Americans do not need a visa to go into Brazil. She just was like, oh, wow, lucky you. And then she want to start getting nosy. Why are you going there anyway? I was like, for my birthday. I'm going to say.
Hold on. Whoa. This was an American Matrix chick?
Oh, yeah, this is the lady who worked at the gate or worked at the airline check-in spot. And I believe I was in Atlanta. I was in Atlanta.
Okay.
She's like, oh, so what you going to Brazil for? I was like, I'm going to celebrate. It's my birthday week.
It is.
My birthday weekend, I'm going to celebrate. Because you know she had to be nosy because she seen a brother going to Brazil.
That's why I laughed.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yes.
That's why I laugh because most brothers come to me and they talk to me to this man. We got a private WhatsApp group and shit, and they tell me about this shit. Like usually, the first thing they do is either when they're leaving the airport or getting on the plane. There's always black chicks fighting out when they're going to Brazil or another international country. They are mugging their ass off or getting the
Mhm,
interrogation. So, what is your purpose of going there? Why are you going there? You know,
mhm.
yeah, like exactly like you said it.
Yep. Yep. What you going down there for? I'm just like vacation. I'm going because I can. You're welcome. You know what I mean? Because you know what I mean? Because their
That's the
perspective is
perfect
that
answer.
yeah, they think that we have to answer to them, and that's just it's such a travesty that in this community, black women really believe they own black men. It's crazy because, like I said, I was at the gate, and it was my first trip down there. I got the visa, like 10-year visa, didn't even need it. So definitely, I see that these other countries, and this is the problem, they don't want black men to understand this. These other countries are more than ready and willing to bring you in with your American dollar. They are happy to see you. Don't get it twisted. The women are happy to see you. The men want you to come down and meet my cousin, meet my cousin. I'm telling shit. Ask about brothers who've been there. They trying to hook you up with
Just
their
shit.
cousin. They won't. They yeah.
Hold on. Were you on a YouTube video with Dennis Jean Pierre?
Who was hosting the channel? Who was the host?
Uh, Dennis Jean Pierre. Look him up. DJP. Dennis Jean
I
Pierre.
know about
We got
DJP.
Dennis Jean Pierre Brazil. It was always in Brazil. He was down there for like a long time. He was listen. He taught me something very interesting. And remember, I have not traveled yet. I have a passport for me and my daughter and everything. We're still waiting to get our first virginity broken in those things. But he said this, man. I did not know this right until I started doing more digging. But he said when you come from fucking Brazil or any country, you're gonna be have what we call the depression down syndrome because you came from that magical place. And
Bro.
he said when I went to the airport, he said when I went to the airport, as I was getting off the plane coming into Brazil, he said I seen grown ass men
Crying.
crying, man, at the airport, man, because they had to come back to this miserable moment. And I was like, damn. So that red pilled me. So it said to me, well, damn, would you rather see a man cry that he has to come back to this miserable motherfucker? Or would you rather see a man crying that he has to pay literally thousands, sometimes millions of dollars in child support and alimony? I mean, it's like, wow. You know what I mean?
Dude, you let me tell you about the experience of going there. I've been there like I think I'm on like 7 trips. I think I'm almost I'm about 7. I've been to different spots. I've been to also Dubai. I traveled around. I come from military background, so I've definitely been to different places, deployed. And then I've been in Afghanistan, Iraq. So I've been moving like outside of the country for many. I've had to do it, many years. But the thing
Yeah.
is, the experience about Brazil, man, it's half the reason why I can barely watch Austin because I know what he's
He said
doing.
barely.
I know I can barely watch Austin because it hurts. It hurts right here. That's why I can barely watch Austin sometimes. I'm like, God damn this nigga. Because I know, what I'm saying, I know how he feels right now. When you get off that plane, no, we'll talk about going back. When you go back home, it's like
Yeah, I want to hear your story when you first got to get ready to find out that night when you find out you got to get ready to come back to the Matrix. I'm dying to
oh
hear. I
bro,
want to hear that from you. Yeah,
that
because
is probably
Charles Tyler said the same shit, man. They was like he was seeing grown men sad, like like kids, like sad, and then Dennis John Pierre seeing grown men crying at the airport, hurt
bro.
on the plane.
It's,
Wow.
it's real. We call it the slow ride back to GIG. GIG is the airport that you come through in Rio, or it's one of the ones, the biggest one. The slow ride back to GIG, because it's like you've been down here, you've experienced this place where it's like the streets are live, it's parties, like live music, kind of like everywhere. The culture, everybody's out like celebrating on every corner, especially if there's a Flamengo game, their soccer team down there, bro. If there's people are on a corner even when it's not that, people are on a corners having drinks, hanging out, and it's just this vibe, this feeling of like oneness. It's weird. It's like we're all Brazilian. It's cool, baby. We good. We got the beach. It's vibes. Because that's why I said Brazil is all vibes. It's vibes, or Rio specifically in this conversation, it's vibes down there. And when you've gone down there and you feel this pressure that gets lifted off of you of not having to be, Mr. Shiny Belt Buckle with 1,000 chains on. And yeah, I don't need to have the freshest. I don't need to have the newest Jordans. I don't need to have the, the flyest watches on and all this, bro. When I go down there, I'm not wearing like, I don't even wear this when I'm down there. I take that off. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
You don't even really want to be rocking a whole bunch of gold.
Yeah, I mean, Brazil, Yeesh Giannis, he was saying that, man. He said, man, I'll go to any thrift store in the United States, man. Come down there 100% thrift store geared up, man, and still be down there, man, having a damn good ass time and still pull with no problem. But the women pulled me. I said, what the hell? Yeah, he said, I'll be all in under $10 from a thrift store and go down there and still pull.
Sure. It ain't about because its perspective is different. Because you're in a place where your value is actually realized. You know what I'm saying? You as a man, because, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, you don't become an American. You know what I'm saying? You're not seen because you're a hyphen American in the United States. You don't get recognized as an American until you go to a different country. They see you as, oh, you don't have to say you're black. You're an American. You have to leave your home in order to be recognized as a full citizen of where you're from. That's the type of environment and energy that you get when you go down there. You're walking around in flip-flops. You on the beach, you wearing flip-flops, you know what I'm saying? You know what they call Havaianas, you know what I mean, down there. I'm wearing shit like, just a regular shirt like this and maybe some shorts because it's warm, it's hot. You could kind of just wear basketball gear. Now, of course, when you go to different spots, when actually going to a spot or a club or whatever, of course, you would step it up. But just on some regular daily stuff, dude, you could kind of almost wear like basketball gear and just be on some chill shit with some slides and just walking around with a fresh pair of, maybe some
Crocs
some shades or something, or some Croc, whatever. You know what I mean? And you just chilling because you pretty much are gonna stand out anyway. You know what I mean? You're an American. They pretty much gonna tell, and they're gonna move. They're gonna see. They're gonna know. You know what I mean? And they're gonna like, oh, that's an American. Da, da, da. So when you're there,
wow,
you have to leave, and it's just like it's something that I recommend. And this is the thing that happens where brothers travel. I recommend you go through that because it will make you greater. It will make you great because you know why? Because now that your mind is not all based on, oh, I need to get bodies. I need to get, you know what I'm saying? I need to smash this. I need to smash that. I need to smash. When you get over all this mindset of, oh, you know what I mean? I'm trying to smash all these, these females, whatever. When you get past all that and then the reality sets in of your potential, and then you're about to go home and you say, wait a minute, what do I have to do to stay here? How can I continue this lifestyle? That's when the mind goes from, oh, I'm just going to work a regular job and then 2 weeks out of the year, I might go to Brazil. No, you say, fuck all that. How in the hell can I work remote and stay in this motherfucker? Because what you'll start doing is you'll start saying, wait a minute, how can I bring the American dollar with me out here to these countries? Then you'll start thinking about stuff that's like more remote based jobs, IT, however you
there it is.
Maybe like a call center, whatever.
Charles Tyler said your brain is going to grow off like 1,000 miles an hour once you leave, man. Once you leave, either it could be Brazil, Thailand, just one of those countries, right? Once you go and then you come back, your brain going to go off 1,000 miles an hour. Damn, what the hell can I do, man? I got to do something in the past, man. And I started like seeing guys out here, man, they leave, go to Brazil, man, or Colombia, man, or Thailand, or Philippines or Eastern Europe, go to Hungary. These guys come back, man, right? At working one job now, man. They come back, say, I got to go back. And now these guys got like 3 jobs, man.
Yes.
Like, for real. And they've like cut sex off. They cut the sex off completely. These are older men. They cut the sex off completely here in America, and they done picked up like 3 jobs. And they said, fuck it, man. I'll jack off before I fucking any of these goddamn women out here, man. I'm like, wow.
It's real. Let me tell you how real it is. I'm out here I'm in North Carolina right now. That's where I'm at. I'm in North Carolina.
Okay. Yeah, you were
I, you
kosher.
know,
You were kosher coalition.
yeah, yeah, me and Coach. Matter of fact, my last trip out, me and Coach, we all rock because we was all down there together and all part of the groups and stuff. So Coach was with us, and my thing is just like, it's that real because your mentality will change. I changed. Listen, I was working overseas, and I was in Afghanistan before they shut it down. You know what I'm saying? Doing what I used to do in the military, making six figures, and then I started going to Brazil, and I said, wait a minute, whoa, what do I need to do? And then my mind started going in different directions. And I started getting more into trading in the Forex, how to work remote, how to go
Wow.
IT. What can I do to make this shit happen? And I stopped that job to come back to the States and regroup so that when I go back out there, I don't have to leave until I get ready. I'm not satisfied with 2 weeks out of the year. That's not enough.
Correct.
You're a weekend warrior. A lot of brothers who passported are not really trying to be on that weekend war. They're trying to get to a point to where they can move at how they want to, and unless it's 6 months a year, 3 months a year, whatever. And the average job is not going to give you 6 months to however many months out of the year living in a foreign country. Your mind now has to think what outside of the matrix. That's why you start breaking barriers when you start having these type of experiences. And these dusty bitches want to say that we're only thinking about pussy. Bitch, we're on a whole lifestyle change right now. You don't understand what happens when a man goes to a different country and experiences the greatness of his value. You know what I'm saying? When a man experiences that shit, it changes you. That's why when these brothers have to leave, it's so almost like catastrophic to the system. Like, wait a minute, I don't want to go back. You know what I mean? I want to stay here. So I'm telling you, man, that's why I told you I got into Forex. You know what I mean? I started taking my classes for IT, Net Plus, Set Plus, and well, actually Linux as well. I did.
Hey, you got on
Linux.
top of this stuff like very quickly soon you left your first time, right?
Yeah, soon, after my first round of being down there for my birthday, bro. Like I said, and I got a couple pictures from that. If you check my Instagram, which is at the same name, Chris Strong Art, if you want to check it, my IG is right there. But I'm just saying, check my Instagram. You can see the experiences. I went 4 times by myself. This is why I'll tell brothers like, oh, well, hey man, I don't have nobody to go with me. Damn that. Do your research.
No,
Get your ass down there, bro.
When I had my consultations with one master teacher, shout out to him, man. If I would advise everybody to get a consultation with him, that man went to a lot of countries for real, and he's in the United States Air Force. But when I had a consultation with him, he told me exactly what you said. That's one thing I like about the Passport Brothers, man. You guys speak in unison, man. Exactly what you said. He said, man, he told me like this: you're gonna have a homeboy, a couple homeboys, or a family member, and you're gonna plan this shit out maybe a year, 6 months, right? You're gonna already have your ticket, right? And then as soon as time to come, they're gonna hit you up with I can't go because of this, I can't go to that, or maybe next time, screw that. He said, man, go take your ass down there by yourself. That's where you're gonna have the best fun in your life, man, or whatever. And they gonna miss it. When you start bragging, man, about what you done did and how you do it, because once you get down there by yourself, and this is what he told me, he said that you're going to create a whole network full of new friends, new people, new community. Hell, you'll meet somebody from a few people from the United States that speak English. And I was like, really? All that shit? He said, I'm telling you. And he was just giving me up about Brazil and Thailand, man, and the Philippines, man. And, but listen, I can't tell you everything, because of YouTube, what we talked about on the consultation. But let me tell you, majority of what you said, you're right on the money, man. You hit the nail right there on the head.
I know what you're talking about. It's all good. That's why I said some things are going to be behind the proverbial paywall. Like, you got to be in to know more details. We give you enough to make you question, do you want to come through the door? And then when you actually start getting in with the groups and stuff like this, you really start picking up game on like, oh, wow. Like, yeah. So that's why I said, dog, like, you'll start to see, like I said, brothers who have had these experiences are going to pretty much have a lot of the same mentalities and talking points, because We have different things
Yes.
that brought us to this point, but when we're having these talks, we're speaking to the same thing that converted us all, which was us
Wow.
realizing our value and who we are. So when we go to these
I
different countries, there's so much more than just, oh, the girls treat. It's a whole environment and
wow.
mentality, currency,
Well,
opportunity.
well, I was telling somebody the other day, in my opinion, guys like you who have a military background, I believe the guys from the military, this is just my personal opinion, you may disagree. I believe the guys who are in the United States military, no matter if it's Army, Navy, Air Force, it doesn't matter. Marines, I don't care, whatever, Marine Guard, whatever. I believe you guys, in my opinion, are what I call the original passport brothers and the original blue book gentlemen, in my opinion. I say that because my dad was in the United States Army. My brother, he just retired as a commander from the Army. Okay, and my little brother was in the Navy, and then my dad was in the Army. He was in Korea and Nam. And when he was in Korea and Nam, he did tell me this. He did tell me this after he got out there. He told me this years ago. But at this time I was dipped in fucking blue pill jelly. I was a blue pill, pussy, right? And he told me right off the gate. He said, "Man, right off the gate, when you turn 16, go get your passport." And I'm like, "Well, what's a passport?" He told me what it was, and I'm like, "I don't want to get that." He said, "Well, you need to go in the Army. I don't care what branch it is. You can go to the Navy, you can you go to the Air Force, get in somewhere." And like, I don't know. What if my girlfriend, she has sex with someone else, and then on top of that, I might get shot. And my dad told me, Rob, getting these older guys, they were all in the Army, man, and in the Navy, and they said this shit. Once you get over there, son, you're gonna forget about that girl. And I said, "Oh, really?" But then I was so stupid, I didn't do it, and here I go. That I'm 40 years old now, and later on in life, what do you fuck you think happened? I got a kid. I got baby trapped by a whole nother woman. That's a whole nother story. You can go to my YouTube channel. I talk about baby traps and what happened and how guys can prevent that shit from happening or whatever, and what I did and all this other shit. And now I got my passport, and I'm like, God damn. But the key thing is, like I said, I believe the guys in the military, they were the originals. Because even my buddy Carlos Red, right, the Blue Book gentleman, he was on Paulo Frescobar's channel the other day. And he said he was in the Army, and he said the same thing, that a lot of guys in the Army, they were keeping a lot of this shit hush. A lot of this shit was being hushed, man, about, man, don't tell these guys about the women overseas and da 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 da. He said if he actually knew his own guys out there was keeping it as a secret, he said he wouldn't be in the position that he's in. He would not be in the position he's in today. But a lot of guys I know, they said, hey, man, they regret not staying in the Army longer, or they regret, getting out of the military, or man, they wish they can go back. I hear all types of this awesome stories, man. But yeah, you and 1MT, man, you guys are the fucking truth, man. You guys are the goddamn truth. For real. But here's my question I have, because I know you got to. I don't want to bore you and everything, But did you ever have? Did you ever have your walk of shame and tearful moments when you were in Brazil or any other country where you're at, where you went from being treated like a king or god, coming back here to the Matrix, and you're like, oh my fucking God. And that tear, the depression kicked in. This is what Dennis John Pierre broke down to us on a live stream. Like, he said, this shit is real. And he said, when you go down there, when you go to that airport, you're going to see grown men sad, angry, hurt,
mad,
real tears. I thought he was joking. He said, no, this is for real.
Growling. Yeah. Oh, it's real. It's definitely real. Like, when you get back, and this is the interesting thing, how, because I came back through Florida, and you're going through, when we got to customs. Now, just imagine, I'm still off the plane with a bunch of people coming from Brazil. We're all moving through the airport in Florida, heading down to customs. Soon as we get to customs,
when you make it to the Matrix, right? You make it to the Matrix.
And back into play. Y'all need to go in this direction. Put this down. You need to hurry up. First of all, y'all need to, you talk. Excuse me. Move the line. Like, it was just, I'm just like, why are they so goddamn rude? And I put my headphones in, started listening to my Brazilian music, my pagode, my funky music. I just vibed back to Rio for like the next, as long as I could hold on to it.
He
And
said, "Once I
you know,
can hold on to."
as long as I can hold on to it, dog, because I'm trying to tell you, like, because I had to drive, because I drove, because my sister's down there in Florida, and eventually I'm gonna get down to Florida as well. I'm gonna stand up a house in Florida, but you know, my sister was there, so I came back through. My sister's in Orlando area, and I chimed in. I stopped by with her. We chopped it up for a little bit when I first got back, but you know, Florida itself felt like I was a little bit still in the Caribbean. You know, it felt like I was a little, because you technically are, but you kind of still feel a little bit of that international vibe being down there. And I just was like, okay. But as I started to kind of like drive from there back up to North Carolina, and then I got out back in, you know, the area that I'm in, and, you know, out here in around about Fayetteville, I just was like, oh, oh, oh,
It hit you.
no, oh my God. Like, no, like, it's just because, and it's not that the women are, you know, actively doing something to you. It's just that
It hit
you
you.
feel it hits you like you are not there anymore. This is where you are, and you understand it, all the vibes. And then, honestly, this is the killer. All the vibes and everything that you was feeling and all the experiences you had, it'll start to almost feel like a dream because nobody around you starts to relate to you anymore. That
It's like a
no,
dream.
I'm serious.
That's
That's the
hey, that's
biggest
what
thing.
Pablo. That's what
That's the
Pablo was
biggest
saying.
thing.
He said, when you get back in the Matrix, Pablo
Nobody
said, he
relates.
said, you're gonna get back in the Matrix. You go, people are gonna be like, you're gonna run into
You
people. You're like, why the hell you acting like that?
you are alien. You are alien, dog. Because I'm telling you, I be riding around. I be listening to the Brazilian music, the different artists that I know, because you know that because I relate to them. I speak a little bit of the language and stuff like this.
Right.
So
You're in
now
your
I'm having,
piece.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like now that I've had this connection with these people over on this other spot, you know what I mean? You know what? It's almost like a movie reference. Oh boy, from the Avatar, the blue people, who was originally a soldier, and what happened when he got to Pandora and he started messing with them Navi people? He changed his whole genetics. He said, I'll be Navi. He said, damn all this. I'll stay here with these people. I don't want to leave Pandora. So when you get to when you come back to America, one of the biggest things you realize is like you're culturally changed now. You know what I mean? You won't you relate less to the average stuff in America. Like you know, Pookies and Ray Rays, but you know, I know that's a term, but like kind of like the whole street culture, the mainstream black community, this and watching Power and all this other goofy shit that people be worried about. You don't care anymore. You don't care anymore. And from that, you relate differently now to the people that are around you. They're just like, bro, like, you all listening to this, you talking this, and you doing that. What happened to you? You said, I've seen the promised land. It is great. You know what I'm saying? You've seen shit.
You said like it's like you came from a parallel universe, or my partner keeps telling me about Thailand. It's literally like a time machine. Literally.
Yeah, it's different, and it'll have that effect on you. Like, you know, did I just step through the rabbit hole? You know what I'm saying? Am I on some like some Dorothy type ish right now? Because you know the experience, man. And then when you come home, dog, it changes you in a way to where you're gonna motivate yourself to say, what do I have to do in order to maintain this lifestyle? What is it that I need to do? You know, who do I need to talk to? And that's when you start tapping into your resources. That's why I recommend, you know, getting in line with some of the groups, listening to brothers. That's why the only brothers who really understand Passport Brothers are other Passport Brothers, and which is why a lot of us will sound the same. You know what I mean?
You
I've
guys
never met
do.
one of them people.
You
I never
guys
met one of them
do,
people.
man. Like for real. Like I've never really sat down and talked with you, man. But just talking to you, it seemed like I've already had a whole consultation with you, man. And you were on the line with Master Teacher, like shit, like for real. You know, like we were sitting back, or my partner Carlos, and they just put me up on so much knowledge, man. You know, and I pay good money for this shit, man. It's worth it. So then I can actually know prior to me even going or stepping out on that plane, man. And it's crazy, man. It's really, really impressive. And the thing is, all the consultations, let me tell you, the consultation prices make the dating coaches prices look like a joke. I am telling you, man, for real, man. It's like it's laughable, man. It's like that's all you charge? Yeah, that's all you charge. Yeah, man. And then a lot of the password they do not put caps. A lot of them don't put caps on the amount of minutes they require. They'll say the minimum, but then after that, man, ask me every question you want, and they just hit you, man. Like for real. Even Zoom to Thailand, he doesn't mess around on this consultations, man. And Andre and Andrea from Love Crossing Borders, yeah, they just
Mhm.
do not mess around. Man.
Mhm.
Nothing but knowledge.
Nothing but knowledge, because that's the key ingredient that most black men are missing. They don't have the knowledge piece that is going to allow them to understand even what freedom is. You know what I mean? The worst slave is a slave that doesn't even realize that he's a slave. Like they said, the last shackle to leave the mind of someone who's in captivity is, or the to leave is the shackle of the mind, is because they don't know how trapped they are until they understand what being free is. So when you start going to these countries, you go to these places, and then you will, depending on your experience, most likely you will come back and make changes. That's one thing you will do. You'll start moving different, thinking different, not even really be interested in the same females. You're gonna be like, yo, what the hell do I need to do? Because that is different.
He said, "What the hell I
I'm,
needed to do?"
I'm telling you, my hand straight up. I'm telling you, it's different over there. It's different over there. Shout out to Simon, he's in the building. What's up, good brother? What you got to say on the topic?
Yo. Um, yeah, I mean, I had my first experience when I was like 19 years old. And the brother who actually put me onto it was like, you're gonna see a completely different perspective. And at that time, I was looking at him, and he was just like, and I was like, it's like a face to face, like two dogs looking at each other. It's like, I was like, I don't know, I don't really want to travel. I don't know. Like I was in my borough. I was just like, I'm fixed in my family. Like I got my own stuff going on. I don't know how they're gonna. I called up a couple of people, right? I was just like, oh, what do you think? Should I travel? Should I go abroad? They're like, who do you know over there? That's like the first thing they said was, who do you know over there? And I was like, I don't know anybody over there. But it's like, who do you know over there? It's like, all right. So at the end of the day, I got to cross some borders. And, when I did, I got on that plane. And it was the most frightening thing I've ever done in my life for the first time. Yeah. Because my ears closed up. There were people that I didn't see. There were people from different countries rolling up different sort of suitcases. It was just a whole new experience. It's just crazy. I was just like, oh my Lord, I'm really out of my space, because I was real comfortable where I was. Flight attendants doing this, doing that. I wasn't believing her. She was doing all the hand signals. I was like, oh, okay, this is like a Kevin Hart movie. Oh my god damn. I'm like, all right. But when the plane eventually sort of got off in the air, I was still holding my nuts. But it was only when it sort of landed, I was like, oh, this shit actually works. So I can go from one place to another. And this stuff works. It's not just me sort of looking at aeroplanes in the sky and trying to work out aerodynamics because I'm trying to be an engineer or something. It's like, this actually works. And I landed and I smelled it. It's like, and the first thing that came to my head was like Dr. Dre when he was like, oh, this smells like Indonesia. I was just like, oh, when you land in another country, there's a completely different sort of essence to it. And it is kind of alien to you. Went to the cab station. Everyone was friendly. They had, everything sort of laid out. You pay for what you get for. That's what I'll tell you. Be very careful, especially when you go into certain types of countries where they've got, you know what it is. You go on one block, it's nice. You go on another block, it's not so pretty. And that's pretty much the standard in any country, especially if you're going to tropic places. Because tropic places you can land yourself in some sort of movie sort of situation where you may want to write a book about that. But apart from that, it's beautiful meeting other people and new people, and especially I wouldn't say, I think there's this sort of line where people say, women are this from where you are at, and they're not this from where you're not at. But people have traveled the world before we were born, and they gave us that gift. So I think what it is we're just running with it. We're just taking the baton. And sorry if I'm going on a bit, bro.
No, you good. Where did you when you travel? Where did you go? Where's your trip at?
I've been to a few places. I've got most memorable situations in certain types of places. But where you are, I don't know if you can travel there. The most pleasant place I've been to insofar has been Fuerteventura, which is an island. There's like islands off Spain. So like, say you want to go to Spain, it's just like it's in between Spain and Morocco. It's hot all year long, and it's not like Ibiza or anything like that. It's just like they just got their own thing going on. But I'd recommend that if I was going to recommend anything.
Outstanding. That's good, man. Well, it's good that you're getting out there. You're making the move. Where did you travel from when you headed out there?
I'm from London, so I got Europe at my doorstep.
Okay.
There's other places like obviously, I mean, when I talk to people, they say they want to go to Australia or they want to go to Mauritius. Places that are kind of obscure, but you need to really be prepared. So when you're trying to travel, I'd say take one step at a time. So obviously, like if you're in the United States, you can go from state to state to state. Coming out of that, you could go to the Caribbean islands, and then it's like a 2-hour, 3-hour journey. If you're trying to be max, then go to Europe. Then that's like a 10-hour thing. If you're trying to go to another country, then it may be something a bit more. But I would say take a step at a time, because those plane journeys can be a bit of a toll, like these YouTube streets. It's like, we need to sort of be human about it and take one step at a time, because no explorer, had what we have got in terms of reporting things automatically, which is what we tend to do, right? You want to go to another country, you pull up your phone, it's like, I want to post this on Instagram. No. It's like, no, just take that a step at a time. Just do your own thing, and report to yourself, not to the world. Then sort of evaluate it and see what you can put out to the world, because it's really about you and your own self growth and what you're trying to achieve. But there is a whole world out there, and I think it's really, I don't want to put a bad sort of word in my mouth, but it's this has been going on from time. So for us to even be discussing this is interesting in itself, in the sense that there are so many people right now that are so isolated, they don't even have passports. I can relate to my own family with that. Like, they don't have passports, The basic sort of thing about just getting a passport in the first place, it costs a bit of money, right? No one's going to front that for you. So it's just getting past that barrier and then going, okay, I'm going to get on a plane. I don't care where you're going. Get on a plane. Just experience it.
I mean, that what you said right there. I mean, over here in the States, that mentality is common, for men not to even think about passports, not to even think about traveling, not to even think about even dating out of the race, because for so long, at one point it was illegal. And then, beyond that, it has always been a bit taboo. And then beyond that, it would seem that the culture, i.e., Black women, have continued to push the narrative of you don't need to be going over there, you need to be staying here. They're not better, they ain't gonna understand you, they ain't gonna know how to play spades. And it's just like those are not the things that we are looking for. And it shows how out of touch, women over here are when it comes to men who are looking for better opportunities. Men want the very thing that these women fight against. They want traditional houses, they want families, they want, a legacy, a child to raise and not have to worry about child support and stuff like this, and not have to be, Superman who's 6 feet tall and has to have all these amounts of money, so to speak, in order to make something like that happen. And, like I was just telling, Gigi over here, like, bro, like, the experience is what's going to get you. You can ask Pablo, you can ask one master teacher, you can ask Aaron Ferris, who still ain't came back home to the States. You can ask any of these brothers. It changes you because now you have a whole different perspective on what you thought was possible. You never thought, before you went over there, you never really thought about living in the country. You were just thinking, oh, I'm just going to buy a house. I'm just going to, do the thing, go to college, buy a house, shack up somewhere with a female, have a kid, and all the other regular shit. But when you start to think like an international mogul, and then you start to realize, wait a minute, I have the American dollar, one of the highest dollars across the land, and I'm not using my opportunity. I'm not realizing my value and understanding how powerful I can be in the options and opportunities that I have. That's why I said men in this space, and when American men do it, and even brothers in the UK do it and realize their value, and they realize how strong their dollar is, they realize how strong that passport is, that's when they start to come to a whole different realization. Like, oh, wow, I'm really capable of some serious stuff out here if I apply my mind to it. What's unfortunate is that a lot of the older brothers and stuff like this, like Gigi, I know I heard you say you're millennial. I'm a millennial too, you know what I'm saying? So, different brothers generally, before they even get to that point, they have already made certain, not mistakes, but they've already done certain things. They've already gotten married. They've already been through divorce, kids and stuff like this, where it's generally good to have a little bit of those experiences because they will generally lead you to traveling anyway. But it's a shame that men, in our community and culture have to go through so much in order and just to realize their value. It's sad, but now we see that this pro men's movements that are popping up in all these different avenues and corners, they're all starting to rise up and get acknowledged because the mainstream cannot deny it any longer. It's a movement. It's an idea that can't be stopped. It's at fever pitch. But yeah, right now. So yeah, shout out to the big homie Jamel. He said no fuzzy slippers or bonnets, pajamas in GIG Airport. Goddamn right. And I tell you one thing about that, bro. Gigi, if you go when you land at the airport, because we've had more brothers, I've seen it happen. They'll land at the airport and they're ready to tear down the airport. They're like, oh, let me get her number. I want to talk to her. And these are girls who just work there, and they just work at the little shops. When you come into the country, you like, oh man, hey, nah, bro, you ain't even got to the beach yet. Calm down. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna have a different experience. It's gonna be eye-opening. You're gonna be like, wow. And then you're also gonna see the ways that these people relate to you as far as the commonalities that you will see. Like you'll start to see people who look like me, look like you. They just speak a different language and their whole culture is different. You might get into what they're into as far as the football and stuff like this. You never thought you would be into soccer. And now when you get back home to the States, you're trying to check the scores and watch it and stuff like this. And I didn't know what the hell, the Libertadores was before I went to Brazil. You know what I mean? I didn't care about that stuff, but now I'm coming back. I'm rocking Flamengo gear. I got like 5-6 jerseys over there. You know what I'm saying? Because every time I go down there, we get like custom jerseys, and I got slides like my homeboy Jamel's talking about. I got like little slides and just, and just like the cups. Like here's the got like the championship cups. You know what I'm saying, that they had back when they won it back in 2018. You know what I mean? You just, bro, it changes you, man. I'm trying to tell you, your mentality. I came back home and I bought FIFA. All right, I bought FIFA. I didn't give a shit about no goddamn FIFA.
I love it.
You know what I mean?
swear.
You bought the goddamn video game, huh?
Yeah, I was like, Libertadores, Flamengo. I was done. I was gone, bro. Like, and I'm coming back. I swear to God. And that's the level. So, you know, kind of like you say depression, you know, whatever. It kind of sort of, it's like you start to feel like, you know, you've made friends in such a new area and a new place.
Yeah.
And you're like, I want to go back. And then you start looking at the reality of
feel really sad.
Yeah, you start looking at it like, damn, like, can I go? You start to ask yourself, can I go back? How can I get back? And how long is that going to take? And then some men are in position to where they can't even exercise, you know, of really taking advantage of doing that. And it's unfortunate for some. But for those who can, they're gonna, and some of the depression is linked to they know, and this is why I call it awakening. Some people call Passport Bros green pill awakening, if that's how you want to call it. Because you'll look at it like you'll come back home to the States and you'll start seeing all the things in your life that you don't need. You're going to be like, I don't need to deal with her. I don't need to be going over here. I'm wasting money doing all of this. I need to change my career. I should really look into doing this. I need to do this. Like you'll start to everything just
yo, bro, I'm gonna have to
because,
kick this up, bro.
Your distractions,
preaching
have been gone.
Oh God.
And then your whole mentality changes because I'm telling you, it's a new programming because you're just like all the things that I thought I had to care about don't matter. Like, because you start to realize, because you know what really happens? You put yourself first. That's the real biggest thing that happens. You put yourself first. Finally, you realize you don't have to sacrifice for no bitch, no community, no pastor, not your mom, not even your own family that all they do is talk shit about you traveling when you travel. You realize you are not a slave to anyone and you start to serve yourself. That is probably one of the biggest things that really happen. And when that happens, everything changes. Everything changes, family. It's fucking mental. When that happens, it does so much work for you. Your mind is clearer. People will call you and just be like, bro, you just seem so relaxed. How come you don't? Because you just be like, because it don't matter. Because it don't matter. Because it don't matter. Because you just be like, bro, why you dealing with that chick? Man, because she did this, but she don't respect you. Man, but she do this though. She got a fat ass. You stupid. You have better options. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, and then you start trying to preach the gospel of travel. And then it starts to fall on deaf ears, and you're just like, wow, y'all niggas don't really care. And it's because they haven't seen what you have seen. Therefore, you start to only really relate to people in these spaces right here. This is where your circle starts to be the manosphere, the black manosphere, you know, brothers who travel, stuff like. I still got my phone obviously loaded right now with, you know what I mean, you know, different girls I know and this and this. And guess what? When you come home, they still check up on you. How about that? You can't usually get that level of, I got ones telling me Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and all this other shit. How is it? I can go down to Brazil and get that type of like, oh, I just want to check on you, make sure you're doing good, this and that. And some brothers can't get that shit from Keisha, who stays 2 blocks away.
I was looking at something and I did not know this, right? You know, and this is in addition to Charles Tyler, but I had no idea until it got more aggressive in 2022. That I had no idea that these guys were in Western Europe going through the same shit we were going through. I had no idea. If not, in some areas it was like worser, but they were going through some shit out there, man, in fucking like UK, Netherlands, all the shit, man. Amsterdam. I did not know they were dealing with the same, or if not more, fuckery that we were doing here, man. Landwells, you know, Landwell women and hippos, single mothers, you know, with multiple kids by multiple kids' dads, you know, the list goes on, you know, and I had no idea that they were dealing with this in Western Europe. So, sir, is this really true?
Yes.
Yes. And you know,
Yes.
what you're referring to, you're referring to feminism and how it has destroyed the traditional family. This is why Western countries and English speaking countries in particular that have given into feminism, we're starting to see the downfall of Rome. That's what we're starting to see. Because remember, Rome began to
Yes.
fall when they started to put woman at the forefront and everything
Thank
became
you.
let's worship women. Rome
Yeah,
fell.
the time.
So
Yeah, the times of Caesar and all that shit, right?
yeah. So that's why we're starting to see how the Western world are men higher and like men, the I call the initiates, they're starting to see the fall coming and they're getting out because Rome is burning. And they're just like, we're not going for this. We're not staying here. We're not dealing with the bullshit. We're not letting these majestic creatures, shout out to Pearl, tell us, no, what she called majestic sea creatures, try to
Ding
tell
ding.
us how we are supposed to live and how we're supposed to serve them. And then we have to accept them because body positivity, you're a toxic masculine, you're a toxic male, you don't respect women, you don't care. All of the shame, guilt, and insults that need to be right and everything that goes with that these women are saying to try to keep men locked down on the plantation because the war is a battle of the minds. They know they can't physically deal with you. And if you snap and wake up out of that nap and realize, wait a minute, you can't fuck with me because you're already physically on a different level. But when you mentally start to get outsmart them and you mentally start to catch them and say, wait a minute, I'm not going to let you talk to me like that. No, I'm good. No, don't address me like that. Kevin Samuels was a leading example of this. He was not letting those females come up on his podcast and use the same classic tactics that they have been using since beyond time and 70s and all this other stuff. He was not letting the classic tropes and the classic talking points work. And men saw for the first times, one of the first times in real time, how a black man who's free, what he looks like. Kevin Samuels wasn't even a passport bro necessarily, but hey, by the end of it, he did pass away in the arms of a Latina woman who was from Mexico. But the thing is, yet and still, Kevin Samuels was a first physical print representation of someone who's breaking the matrix in real time, kicking those agent bitches' asses one by one, sometimes 3, 4 at a time, as they came up on his panel. And you're just like, yo, this dude, Kevin Samuels, who in the what the hell? And at first, it's so triggering because what it is, it's a shake to the system. That's what it is. Because it's rocking everybody's programming, and they're just like, wait a minute, yo, this dude is different. Like, but he's right though. Big facts, he's right. And then men start to wake up in that area. Men who travel, passport bros. You know what I'm saying? My Morpheus was Charles Tyler. Because I started seeing Charles Tyler literally hold up his phone walking around the streets of Copa, the streets of different places in down there in Rio, and having talking about his experiences doing this and this. I was watching so much of content up until the point to where when I actually got there, I felt somewhat familiar with some of the places I was seeing because I had seen it so many times in video. So there was already a little bit of just like, okay, I've seen that place before. Y'all heard about that, this and that. And then after a few trips of going by myself, and usually when I would get down there, I was staying down there a month at a time. But when I would get down there, I'm going for like, doing my thing for a month, my first 4 trips. And then after that, my next trips, I was going with the group because I met the group. That it's funny how things happen. I got led there by Charles Tyler. Never thought I would meet Charles, let alone be a part of the group and meet Al Grease. And then I was just scroll. I never go on Facebook. And this is how it happened. After like my 4th trip, come back home. I'm thinking about Brazil. I'm just doing whatever, scrolling through Facebook. And then I see this flyer for a Brazil trip. And I'm just like, well, who is this? And then I see Black Man's Options, this and this. And then I didn't realize it at first, but I realized I was looking at the very group that Charles Tyler started with Al Grease and all this other stuff. What's even crazier? How about this? When I signed up to go on the trip with the group, as I'm at the airport terminal in Florida, while we out there ready to go, I wind up flying in with Al Grease. Okay, just out of nowhere, we're all sitting at the bar, and then the brothers start coming around. We were on the same flight. And even the president of the group was there. And I didn't even know that was him. I don't know these guys yet. These are just random dudes to me. Start talking. I'm like, yo, that's Al Grease. Oh, snap. Start talking to him, chopping it up with him. So much so that to the point when we land, we get to GIG, we're about to leave, we're calling the taxi or Uber, we get ready to go. I'm riding in the Uber with Al Grease. And based off what I was saying and how I was talking and how well I was relate to everything, talking about the talking points, everything that's going on, and this and that, and how and also that had already had experiences coming down there. He was listening to me talk. He just was like, "Hey man, I got a question for you. You know, I'm shooting Frustrated 3 right now. You want to be in the movie?" I'm like, "What?" I was like, "Are you serious?" Like, so it went from not even knowing Al Grease to being in the movie that led me to go down there in the first place. How is that for you? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't make this shit up.
Oh my God! Wow, you were actually in that documentary. Wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
Frustrated 3. Yeah, check it
No
out. I'm
idea.
in there. Frustrated 3. Yeah, I'm in there.
put the link
Like
in
I
the
said,
chat.
oh god, I'd have to grab it. My brother Jamel might have the link. Jamel, hey bro, can you anybody in the chat, Jamel, any brothers in the group right now, BMO, can y'all drop the link for Al Grease's Frustrated 3?
I need to
It
see that.
might take me a minute to dig for it, but Jamel, I know you
Yeah,
hear
it's on.
the
Yeah, it's on Vimeo. It's on Vimeo.
yeah, it is
Just
on
download
Vimeo. It is
Vimeo.
on Vimeo. Yep, it
Yeah,
is on Vimeo, and you might be able to just go to Vimeo and type it in. Jamel may
it's
have the
only
link.
yeah, it's only like $15. Yeah, it's like
Yep,
$15,
Yo,
man. Just
that's
get it.
that's a tough gig, bro. How did you pull that off?
Getting in the movie. How did I pull it off?
Yeah.
Bruh, I don't know. I was just doing me.
I'm
I
telling
was
you,
just doing
these
me.
people,
And you can ask,
right.
you can ask Al Grease, dog. Like the Al Grease is like,
Mhm.
I just met him, and then like I said, I just met him in Florida. We're at the terminal. I'm kicking it with at that time. I didn't know where the admins of the whole group. I rode in with and give it to you this. My flight, I believe, got pushed today, by the way. So
Right.
theoretically, I wasn't supposed to even fly in with them. But because of the flight getting pushed, I wound up flying in with not only Al Grease, but the admins of the group. And me, I was just being myself, cooling with these brothers, just talking this
Wow,
and that, not even realize I was literally talking to the president of the group. Like,
that's
he sat behind me
crazy.
on the flight. On the flight, I had a row to myself, and behind me, he had a row to himself. And we were just talking about Brazil, just chopping it up. And he's the damn president. I didn't know none of this. I'm just cooling with these dudes. So, and when I land, because I had some experiences coming there, they saw that I was familiar with the language, and I'm cooling, and just like I said, me and we call him Coach Grease. We start talking, and while we're in like I said, we landed at GIG, we're in the Uber, and we're heading down to Copacabana. We're heading down to the beach, and me and him were just talking. And I'll just talk about, yeah, man, these dudes out here be talking down against brothers who travel passport bros. You know what I'm saying? F this one, man, they on some bull, F that one. And then these women, they be on a bull talking shit about us, this and that. And I was just being me. And then Grease was just like, damn, he's like, a lot, huh? And I just was like, hey, man, brother, tried to come down. What's his name? One of the game dudes tried to come down to Brazil and was talking down about brothers who travel, trying to put everything on camera, making it seem like it was something, but we ain't even gonna mention his name. But and Grease was listening to me talk about this stuff. He just was like, "You're a real knowledgeable brother. You're a young brother too." He's like, "How would you like to be in the movie?" I was just like, "What?" Or actually, what he said was, "How would you like to, to do an interview about your experiences and you being down here and everything that you've seen, what you've done, how it relates to black women or American women versus Brazilian women. Would you like to be interviewed?" I was just like, hell yeah, I want to be interviewed. This is dope. What time? And we set up the time, and then I was in the same room with Kosher, because when y'all watch the video in the movie, you'll see Kosher is in there. I'm in the same room with Kosher and
Yeah,
uh
I was on Coach's channel. He mentioned your name like a bunch of times. I'm like, who's this guy? it was this Chris guy, whatever, man. And then he kept saying his state, the Tar Heel State, the Tar Heel State. And I kept looking, and then here I go. I'm on live with this man today. Wow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Small world.
You didn't even know it was me. Yeah, I'm him. Yeah, I'm him. Yes, I am the Chris Strongart. You know, that is, you know, featured in Frustrated 3. I don't go walking around trying to flex and, you know, like, oh, y'all, I'm in a movie. I just do me, bro. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like I said, Dr. Ron O'Neal, I was in the same room with them. You know what I mean? Dr. Ron O'Neal and Kosher, Grease set it up to where all three of us did our shoots all at the same time. So when I came, literally as I come in the room, what y'all see when Kosher is doing his part in the movie is what I was watching in real time as I was coming in to sit down. He was like, you know, be quiet, don't make no noise, whatever. We shooting. I was like, all right, cool, no problem. And I sat at the table in this nice ass, like the building, the room we were, it was like a 3-bedroom like apartment situation that was like at the top floor of one of the buildings that's right there at the edge of the beach in Copacabana. I was like, how in the hell you got a 3-bedroom house with a sliding glass door elevator? What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, this is nice. And it came with its own maid and everything. And I was like, oh, damn, all right, we on some big baller shit.
Wow, this is all in Brazil.
Oh, right there on the beach. Yes, sir. All of us right there. So that's why I said when I was doing my part, in my interview, I was literally watching Kosher do his part, and then Dr. Ron O'Neal was doing his part. When they finished, they did Dr. Ron O'Neal, he did his thing, and then I did my thing on the couches. So it's we
Dr.
were all in
Dr. Ron O'Neal, he is the truth, man. I follow the hell out of his ass. When he said that he came back for the first time from Brazil and he was having this black man option cap with Charles Tyler, man, that told me, hell yeah, I have to follow this man. When he said that he went to Brazil and he said if the United States of America imported on the low, this is just on the low, 2 million Brazilian women to the United States of America, it would be it for the United States. It will be done. Every relationship will be done. It will be over 2 million. It will be over. It will be done. I said, wow, 2 million? That's a very conservative number to the United States. They import them. Wow.
Yeah. I was there. Matter of fact, I was there, like I said, when we were all at the club together. We went because as BMO, we roll as a whole group. It's like shit, like 20, 25 of us deep. And then we go to spots like, again, go to my Instagram. You'll see me and one of the homies. We got on stage. You know what I'm saying? With one of the, I don't know if he's the owner or one of the artists out there, but they pulled us on stage. And like I said, these brothers who travel, we ain't no lightweight dudes. We got millionaires in our groups. You know what I'm saying? These ain't no lightweight cats. You know, guys who are lawyers and guys who retired. You know, police.
Yeah, that's what Dr. Ron said. That's what Dr. Ron said. He said you got guys who are multi-millionaires, guys who got HVAC companies, man, guys who got appliance companies, you know, like that. He was just breaking us down, like, wow, you know, guys who worked at the post office for years, like he was like, yeah.
And we were out there balling. We were out there living it up, balling, you know, going to some of the best, you know, restaurants. Like I said, I'm in the club. We were all in the club. Me, Kosher, Dr. Ron O'Neal. I could, if I grab the video, I could slam it up here. It's like a little clip of us being in the club. You know, one of my last trips, we went to a Flamengo game, which was one of their biggest games of the year. We had VIP access because we got connections out there. They got us in. We all went in there. Again, check on my Instagram. I put videos up. We're all wearing our black Flamengo Black History. I don't think they have Black History Month. It's like a Black History, like a Friday week. It's different, but they do have kind of like a Black History thing that they represent. So they had the Flamengo jersey with like a Afro female kind of like embroidered right here with the regular stuff on it. It was dope, and it was like black and gold and white. And we all were all decked out wearing the black jersey with our custom names on the back, going to the games, going to the Flamengo games. Check my Instagram. I tell no lies. Like, it was dope out there. So when Dr. Ron O'Neal, he was in the club. We got pictures of him. He was gone. He was drunk, bro. Dr. Ron O'Neal was slid, boy. He was gone. He was gone. He partied hard. He was out, and he was vibed out, just chilling in the cut, just sleep. He was good. You know what I'm saying? We were just letting it chill. brothers go out there, have a good time, enjoy themselves. And it really is a brotherhood, man. It's just like I said, it's almost like you look at it like you come to the States to get your money, but you really start living life when you start breaking the borders and you start really relating to these men that sometimes it feels like you never met before, but you feel so related. Like I said, when I first started talking to Grease, we just start being able to rap and have these conversations and relate. Like these motherfuckers get me. You know what I'm saying? Wow. Like we start to have like minds and you really
100%.
start to build up a mentality, you know, about how to move and travel and the brothers that you hang with and all that. So it's real.
Did you go to the Africa event with them last year and this year? Well, 2022.
South Africa. You talking when they went to South Africa?
Yeah, did you make it to that event?
I didn't make that one. I actually didn't make that one. I believe my brother Jamel did. You see him down here commenting. He's in the chat. He could give you if he wants to come up, I'll drop the link or the links already.
Yeah, he should come. Yeah, he should come up on a panel with us and everything and join us for this conversation. This is very interesting, man. Yeah, if your brother can join us.
I'm gonna bounce though.
Oh yeah, go ahead, brother.
Yo, bro, I'm gonna come back to you because Lord God. Wow, what a platform, what a stream, what an interesting conversation. I mean,
this is impressive.
Yo, hey, you're up there, bro. I'm coming back for you. I'm coming back for you.
Man, I appreciate you. Subscribe, man. Subscribe,
I've already done that. Yo, hit the thumbs. Hit the thumbs. Subscribe.
Hit the thumbs, G. Hit the thumbs, bro. Hit the thumbs.
We're out for now. We're gonna catch up later.
Tell them about me in the UK, G. Tell them about me in the UK, bro. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I talked to Eric. Yeah, I talked to Eric in Facebook Messenger. I talked to him from time to time, and he invited me to go down there, man. I got in a position where I just could not make it. I just couldn't make it and everything. But he was telling me that, because I said I wanted to place a donation, and he told me, he said, man, no, don't place a donation yet. Just sit tight. And I was like, why? He said, well, there's a drive. We run like a little small, I think it's a toy drive that they run down there in Brazil every year, It's like a donation drive, for I think it's like clothing and toys or whatever. And I said, oh my goodness. And what was interesting about it, it boils down to the conversation we had, me and you had the other day with Pablo when we were talking about making contributions to society and creating new communities, and that's what gave me the idea about, Black Man Options, compared to, if they're shitting on guys who got passports and who are traveling. Well, if we showed them up by having back to school bashes and stuff like that, or what have you, or sending guys to college or what have you, or, kids to college, whatever. I don't know. It could be anything, whatever, man. There's going to be, like I said, communities right around the globe that's going to come on panels or whatever, and they're going to speak up, like, hey, why would you talk bad about these guys? And these guys are making a contribution to our society and helping us out, thousands of miles away with money out of their pocket, and their time, and there it is.
Yeah. This is why their complaints don't really hold water, because the people receive us well. The women receive us well. The culture receives us well, because we don't go down there and try to change their culture. And my thing is, like I've said, when I went down there before I was even with the group, one of my homies who works at the tattoo shop, because I started making friends with the Brazilians. I went down there having no other Americans to talk to. So my thing was fresh out of making it happen with the language, talking to them, realizing first and foremost, it is not Spanish. You know what I'm saying? You got to get on your Portuguese. You got to, chop it up, understand some of the lingo, how they talk, how they move. And, one of the homies down there, because I was always at the tattoo shop. I was at the tattoo shop all the time. I got all kinds of tattoos from down there. And they was giving me good deals. I know the owner. He's dope. Matter of fact, I'll give him a shout out. If y'all want to go down there and get you some dope tattoos, head out to King 7 out there in Copacabana. Tell him Chris sent you. And, my homeboy Tiago, you know what I mean, who's he's the piercer. He does piercings down there. He's not an artist, but he does piercings. He was, it was cool with him. I'm cool with him. He got me real cool with the owner of the shop down there. So, but anyway, but like I said, when you start to know people, and me and him will walk around And he was like, my bro, they start talking, hey, my brother, hey, bro, we are the same. One of the biggest things that is actually kind of interesting as well is their respect for blackness down there. You'll have the most lightest skin, mixed looking people talking about they black. You just like, oh, you black? You're just like, yeah, bro, my dad is black. I'm black. You're black. My dad is black. We are black. I'm just like, okay, all right, bro.
I love it. I love it. I was Dennis Jean Pierre, man. I'm surprised you haven't went to his channel. Go to it when we get off of here. Go to the man's channel. He has a lot of Brazil content. You do okay. He said up here, man. He said when you go down there, man, even though you speak English, right? You got to get your Portuguese up. It's gonna feel very refreshing for a fine dime piece to have a seat with you, talk to you, and assume that you are from there and speak Portuguese. I was like, what? He said, it's going to happen, man.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. Like, they're going to sit down with you. They're going to approach you and assume you are from there or you speak Portuguese. And when they find out you speak English or you can't, it's like it turns them on even more. And they're like really persistent to try to find out more information about you or use an interpretation. Like, it's crazy, man. I don't know how true that is. I mean, does that make sense to you?
Fam, let me tell you something. Let me tell you about my first experience when I landed. All right.
Sure.
So when I first landed, right, it was for my birthday weekend. So what I did was I stayed at the Hotel Hilton that is right there on, I think, Avenida Atlantica. I think that's the one that's right there closest to the beach, I want to say. And I get there, I get to my hotel. I got a nice spot because at that point I didn't really know you really should Airbnb, but got a hotel doing my thing. And one of my contacts who was there was telling me, like, hey, man, you ought to come down to the beach. I'm just like, bro, I don't know. It's later. It's like 3 p.m. I just got off the flight. I'm tired. I might rest. He was like, bro, the sun goes down at 5. The girls leave as soon as the sun goes down. You may want to come out here because I could put you on something right now if you want. And then he started sending me pictures. And I just was like, you mean right now she's down here right now on the beach for real? And then I just was like, all right, man, let me go see what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? Even though, and listen, I had to walk. I didn't realize how far I had to walk. If anybody knows Copa, I had to walk from the Hilton all the way down to where Help used to be. So basically the whole, I think it's like 147 is the name of the tent setup, whatever. Bruh, I had a trek, and it might have been a good half mile, if I'm not mistaken. But I didn't care because as soon as I got out there, I'm wearing my whatever I'm wearing, and I crossed and I started walking from the Hilton down to where I was going. And you got the little girls out. The girls are out in front of the restaurants that are like on the sides, like on the beachways. So these ladies, they trying to sell their little flyers and this, right? And and they start talking to me, like trying to give me the flyers. I was like, no fala. You know what I'm saying? No fala Portuguese. And she just was like, say americano. I just was like, see, yo soy americano. She just was like, oh, americano, sexy, americano. She bitch start rubbing up on my arms, dog. They start grabbing at your butt. Like, I'm telling you, straight up facts. I tell you lies, my hands up. It was 2 of them. They were just like, oh, americano. And I just was like, well, shit. Você tem no WhatsApp? You know what I'm saying? I just started asking, well, you got WhatsApp? You know what I mean? Like,
now is this at the time you didn't know any Portuguese at all? Very little.
I knew some. That's what I'm saying. Is like, because I started studying. That's how, for me, even my trip. That's a whole nother story. Me getting down there, but for me, before I went down there, I started practicing and brushing up my Portuguese for like at least a couple months just to really kind of get down some of the basics. So then when I'm asking her, qual seu nome, mommy? Qual seu nome? Asking her, what's her name? Little stuff like this, and you got WhatsApp, and okay, like how you doing, and and the greetings of the day, because down there they have different greetings of the day based off what time of day it is. So In the morning is bon dia, and then in the afternoon is boa tarde, and then at nighttime, you know, you would greet and say boa noite. You know what I'm saying? So you have different ways that you address greetings at different parts of the day.
Oh,
And
okay. Like us saying good morning, good afternoon, good night, something like that.
yeah, yeah, those are literal translate. Yeah, that's literally what the translations are, and like your highs and buys and your slangs, and you know, like thanks, obrigado. Obrigado is a proper thanks, masculine, by the way. Proper you know, thank you, you know, is an obrigado, you know. And then but the slang comes in where if you're on the move, in the way more cool way to say it, they because they told me it just is like, bro, don't say obrigado. They just is like, nah, bro, say valio. You know what I'm saying? I just like, oh, what? They're just like, yeah, bro, valio. And I just like, okay. So basically that's just like saying, all right, G, I'm out. When you're moving, they said if your feet are moving, that's what they told me. They said if your feet are moving, you say valio. I just was like, okay, because that means that you're passing, or you're like you're in the store, you're buying something, you're checking out. And the smooth way to say thanks is just like, all right, you know, valio, you know, I'm out, you know what I mean? So they have that kind of talk down there. And like I said, it was my first experience. And that's just my first experiences introducing to Brazilian women. Like if they like you, they're gonna let you know. And I'm walking the beach. And you know, like I said, you know, she just is like, oh, hey, sexito americano, oh my god, da, da, da. And he's like, Neil Dales, da, da, da. You know, I was like, oh damn, mama. I was like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Cause I wasn't used to that. Not like that, you know. So, you know, I'm chopping it up with them on my way to going where I'm going, to where old boy who's gonna put me on some. And dig this, the girl that he was going to put me on, by the time I got down there, he wasn't there. But based off my understanding of Portuguese and stuff like this, I straight up talked up to a female that I didn't even know, who was just there sitting on the beach chilling.
Oh, and this is
Yeah,
knowing very little Portuguese, right?
yep, yep. You know, and I just started rapping with her, and based off that, you know, she went from just being sitting over here in the sand, and I'm just looking around the beach. I'm like, bro, ain't nobody gonna talk to her. I'm like, what is going on? She wearing like swimsuit, this and that. Like I said, I'm used to this.
In reverse.
Everything is just out there for you to see. I'm just like, ooh, who is this nice? You know what I'm saying? Brown skin, this and that. And you know, wind up talking to her, and she could pretty much evidently tell I was American and stuff like this. But like I said, man, started talking with her. Like I said, you know, just asking like in Portuguese, chopping. She could speak a little English as well, so we could you know build in between. But you know, I first started talking to her in Portuguese, like, hey, you know, what's your name? You know, say, hey, mama, qual seu nome? You know, this and that, and vem aqui, you know, what I'm saying, senta, you know, come over here and sit down, you know, what I'm saying, chill with your boy. And she was like, okay. She was like, where are you from? And I just was like, you know, America, you know, telling her where I was from, and just the whole conversation just started going from there. So um, and that was like my first experiences literally within hours of landing, for the first
Wow.
time. So I'm telling you, man, it's all right. Don't let them fool you. It's different out there, boy. So
So
like I
let
said,
me
I
have,
built.
so I have a question for you for guys like myself who do not speak Portuguese, right? And I had when I had a consultation with master teacher, and I listened to Charles Tyler. They simply kept it simple, and they just said, "Hey, you know what? You don't know Portuguese. Don't let that intimidate you. Go down there. Trust me, you'll be fine. Even though you speak only English, just go down there. You'll be fine. There's people who will help you and guide you, and the women will make more of an effort than you even think that they will." Is it really true that we need to go down there and just go? We'll be fine, or is it one of those things? Oh, we godly have to learn Portuguese, you know, on the first and second time around.
Well, I would say that in terms of learning it, you do want to, but to go down there just to experience it, um, it'll enhance your experience all the way around if you can speak it. At least be somewhat familiar with what is going to be going on around you. If you're going to go alone, I would say you most certainly want to brush up on it, get some of the basics, understand a few things. It's not like a Mexico where you can kind of just know English and everybody basically speaks, you know, English in a lot of the spots. Um, you will have a good number of people who do speak English down there, but it's not going to be a lot. And Google
Wow.
Translator is your friend. You know, Google Translator is your friend, even if you don't speak it that well. That's really what's going to come in clutch for you, really, when you're not savvy with the language. And it's also going to help you learn because you're going to start seeing the translations between certain words that you use often. You're going to be like, oh, this means this means this means this. And that's also going to help you build on top of however you study the language. And the best way to really study is be immersed, get into the music, get into the culture.
Sure.
There are different apps, but that's one of the best ways to really get into it. And that's going to help you out the most. But yeah, G. So yeah, we've been rocking for 3 hours, man. We've been going hard, going
Oh
strong.
my God, yes. Oh
Happy New Year
man,
to the
you've actually
passport,
done it.
bro. We up, we winning, we here, we strong, and we ain't going no goddamn where. You know what I'm saying? Fuck the haters. The Bomba Clock hates us.
Love
Fuck the
it.
haters. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying, bro. What's your final thoughts before we get up out of here, G?
Well, I want to say thank you. It is a hardcore pleasure to be on your show, man. I really appreciate the invite and everything, and I'm really super excited, man. I mean, wow, to actually meet someone who was on the Frustrated film, it's really. I mean, I think I'm asleep even more like a baby tonight, man, and get some things going in my life, man. I have a 2023 actual plans now, man, for me to do more things. First thing I got to do is get the virginity of my passport and get that first stamp. That's what I exactly got to do. I've been listening to this stuff for almost a year and a half, 2 years. So hey, man, it's just a matter for me getting it done. But as far as the article, I just want to say this is a stepping stone. And I went over to BMT's channel just before I came here. I've been kind of like in and out and everything. But this article is a stepping stone for what more is to come. Like I said, I see that in the future there's going to be CNN, 60 Minutes, NBC, CBS, right, ABC. They're going to start approaching you guys pretty soon, man. CNN, they're going to start coming approaching you guys, and you guys are going to have to be ready. If in the event they approach you or whatever, man. I know some guys were worried about, who they're going to pick and all that stuff or whatever. I think picking is the last thing you need to worry about. The biggest thing you need to know about is just at least we're getting the message out there. That's all that matters, And if we can direct them to the right people who are well traveled, guys who've been to multiple countries like and guys also too who are expats, who are actually there in the country living there, or if they're not an expats, they're like BMT, staying there, just for long periods of time, because you got to remember, BMT was sitting up, oh, I love Colombia. Colombia is my favorite. And look at them now, still in Thailand. Okay. This is how I know, man, that the power of this passport movement is effective. And it also, too, this boots on the ground, film, video evidence of people down there saying, hey, this is what's going on down here. Don't assume what the United States people are telling you that never been there or that's not currently there. This right here on the video, from the date of that video and this video here and that video there, this is what's going on. And that's what's actually helping brothers make it the decision to get the hell out of the United States, Canada, westernized European countries, and go out there, get their passport, and start traveling globally. But that's my last words for the night, man. Thank you, man. Congratulations for you being on Frustrated. Congratulations on your relationship with Kosher Coalition and also Al Greaves, too. And shout out to the Black Man's Option, man. You got my 100% support. And I hope all goes well for you, too. And hopefully we can get together, do another show or another open mic, okay?
Oh, definitely, man. Appreciate you coming up, bro.
No problem. Too. You have a great night, okay?
All right, G. Appreciate you.
Yep. Bye.
All right. So yeah, man. Like I said, y'all, this is it. This is a victory lap, man. This is a victory lap for Passport Bros, for brothers who travel. You know what I'm saying? We are not allowing, people to try to talk down on the movement. People try to talk down on, brothers who travel, brothers who are out here exercising their best option. You know what I'm saying? One thing I'll say about it is when you're looking for advice from people about traveling, one of the best things is I'll tell people is don't listen to or get advice from people who have not been there. People who have not been to where you've been or who aren't trying to go to where you're going. Be very careful on the advice that you get from these people, man. You know, the movement is going ever strong. You know, for brothers who are thinking about traveling, thinking about getting your passports, go ahead, do that thing, make it happen, man. You're gonna feel so much better, so much more enlightened. It opens up your mind, man. The experiences are great. I'm telling you, man, like you're going to perceive the world differently. Now, but I'm not gonna try to say that Brazil or any of these countries are utopia. What I'm trying to say is that you will more understand your options. You will more understand the opportunities that you have in life. Like I said, I completely changed my mentality around the career I was in, right? I was doing a six-figure job. I was that dude, the pinnacle of what everybody talks about, six figures, this and that. I had that, right? And I switched up what I was doing in order to pursue the lifestyle I wanted. This is why you could give me 60,000 a year, but you put me in the country that I want to be in. I'm not thinking about six figures. Not like that. You give me a house, you give me the place I want to be, the country I want to be in, and I'm good. I'm not keeping up with the Joneses. It's not about a rat race. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about that. But you know, I'm so glad to see that so many brothers are now starting to collab, starting to come together. You know, we here, man. Like we really are. Um, man, it's so good, dog. It's so good to see brothers are joining forces coming together. And yeah, so hold on, stand by 1 second. Oh, not yet. Calm down. We ain't going yet. We ain't going yet. We ain't going yet. But anyway, like I said, guys, thanks for joining, man. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell, get down in the comment section, have the conversation, talk about your experiences, talk about, you know, places you've been, places you want to go, what it was like, you know, resources, share the links, you know, put it out there. You know what I'm saying? All right, spread the news, spread the word. You know what I'm saying? Passport Bros, we here to stay. You know what I mean? Hey, like I always say, man, we out here, dog. Passport Bros, we up. Peace.